Hello and welcome to DCP number 86. What a week. What a week we got. We've got Dr. Lupo. Say hello, Lupo.
Hello.
There it is.
Hello, Lupo.
We got the cast. We're here to talk about video games and Destiny and stuff. And Pope, how about you take it over here?
Over to you, Pope.
There it is. There's the awkward transition.
I'm about to be a video game hipster. All right. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for the video game hipster in me?
Yeah.
See, hey guys, have you heard of this guy named Dr. Lupo? Yeah, I knew him before he was famous. I was listening to his band when it was still on vinyl, you know?
Yo, you got a vinyl record, Lupo?
We were listening when he was still on Vid.
Yeah, when he was still on
Vid, we were listening.
Oh man, how you doing, man?
It's been. I'm good. I'm extremely good. Very busy, but very happy.
It's a good kind of busy, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. It's. I mean, you guys know me better than a lot of people because we've been. I mean, what is it? How long has it been? 3 years? Two and a half years? 3 years? Something like that.
For sure.
What episode was I on the first time? You remember?
I remember it was a mistake. Like we had run out of
huge mistake.
Right?
Huge mistake.
The bottom barrel, right?
Somebody canceled, and I was like, last minute.
I guess let's get a trial streamer. Content.
Use as him? What? All right.
Yeah, man, it was a long time ago. It was it's been an absolute blast. Not that Destiny 2 has kind of tanked a little bit, but a lot.
Well, no, it did.
Though, seeing content creators like yourself that started out in our community branch out and be successful is literally makes me so proud. I don't know why. It just makes me feel so good. And you're one of those. I mean, you're killing it in this game. I forget. It's kind of cartoony. I forget the name of it. It's like you build like
Hello Kitty.
Roblox.
Hello Kitty.
Hello.
Roblox. Yeah, there you go. Minecraft, right? Minecraft.
So you what? I'm gonna just throw it out there. Like you started in Destiny, but why did Fortnite jump out to you? What happened there? What made you transition?
And also, just to underscore, give us some timelines because a lot of people, like Fortnite happened for a lot of people, and they don't realize that like August to October period where like BR was born with Fortnite, you know. And if you could like lay down some bricks right there so people know.
Okay. So let's go back to Destiny 1. So I streamed that for almost exclusively for like a year and a half and some change. I didn't risk jumping out, and that's because originally like streaming wasn't the goal wasn't to be a broadcaster full time. It never was. But eventually, man, once every trials round was getting hit by a fusion nade across a map, and you know everybody was running the same setup. Oh geez, and no lands, and they as soon as they took my ability to snipe away in the way that I wanted to, something just kind of clicked, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I got to switch it up. So that's when I started kind of jumping around between games. I streamed some Overwatch and a couple other things, and then PUBG came up, and I started playing that. One of my moderators had suggested to me, and she said it was like as a shooter with dress up in it. And I was like, sweet, let's do it. I streamed some H1 as well for a while in there before PUBG, but because I got into H1, Ruby was like, you should check this game out, play it. And I was like, I don't really want to. And then I tried it. And I was like, this is kind of cool. And things kept rolling. And when you switch games, dude, anybody that's ever switched main games or just switched away from a main game, it's like a terrifying, oh my God, where'd everybody go? I'm still here. Please don't forget about me. You know, you have that moment of kind of an identity crisis. And so I switched away and started playing pub, and I went from averaging like 500 viewers in Destiny to like 100 to 150. And that was terrifying, especially after being so dedicated to Destiny 1 for so long. Like I've been emotionally invested in Destiny for a super, super long time. I love the game. I love the I love the community that revolves around it. Even the sweaty nerds that want to remind me how many times they beat me in Destiny 1. No offense. I love you too. You're included in all
they're playing for channel keys.
Three. It was three.
We would not be the community that we became without those people as well. Right?
True.
Yes.
So moving away from that was like all right, I'm going to go out. I'm going to step out on my own. And I remember when I did that, I looked back and I saw people still grinding trials and still doing this, still sticking with it, even though they were vocally saying, "Man, I freaking hate this game." And it wasn't a hate; it was just like this isn't what I remember it to be. It was a distaste. Yeah. So I played PUBG
still in the summer before Destiny 2.
Yes. Yeah. This was I started playing it probably between December. So the December of 2016, into roughly like sometime in August of 2017. It was like I switched gears. Somebody actually showed me statistics for the channel. I streamed. My channel has streamed 4,000 hours of D1, 1,300 hours of PUBG, and now 1,500. I just passed PUBG. 1,500 hours of Fortnite.
Fascinating.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
And the amount of the viewership that in terms of game, Fortnite has 86% of the views that my channel has ever gotten, which is ridiculous.
It's amazing.
It should really show the portion. Destiny is still like 8 or 9% of the views that my channel's ever gotten, even though I put in 4,000 hours. 4,000 hours are like 9% versus 86% at such a less than half.
So you're spitting out a lot of numbers, but there is something to be said about being in the right place at the right time. And you're a talented streamer and you run a great stream, but there is some bit of luck involved in hitting it, right?
You want to? I don't like to think about it. Right. I don't like to think about it. And I've talked about it when people ask and chat. They're like, "Yo, how do I grow my Twitch stream? How do I get as big as you?" Or I've been on podcasts. I did a radio show in Boston, WAAF. I was on there for like 10 minutes in the morning. I did The Score, their radio podcast. I've done all sorts of stuff. People ask all the time, "Hey, what how did you get where you are?" And I always call back to Summit. Summit posted a tweet like a year and a half ago that stuck in my head, because he said, whenever anybody asks me, how do you get big on Twitch? There's 3 things. You'd be really scary good. You'd be really, really skilled. If you're really, really skilled, people will watch you. You could have no personality. You can be not entertaining, but if you're terrifyingly good at a game, people will watch you. Mm-hmm. 2, you could be super entertaining, whether it's on the positive side, you're really funny. Like Tim the Tan Man, I think is freaking hilarious. Every time I watch the stream, I'm laughing the whole time.
But he's also kind of part of the first one too. He's
good.
Yeah.
And so he's got a combination. We'll get to that in a sec. So the number 2 thing is you're really funny or entertaining. Sorry, and the entertaining side could also be like you're a train wreck. If you're an absolute train wreck, and you're horrible to your viewers, and you say the most ridiculous things, but you laugh, but I'm right.
Watch that.
If you are a
market
form of entertaining, there's a market for that.
Yep.
People want it's like a train wreck. People want to look at it, they won't look away. Number 3 is you're really engaging with your audience. If you build a community,
yes, people
want to be part of that community, right? And you said, well, Tim is number 2 and he's number 1 as well. Tim is all 3 of those things.
Yes, he is.
And so is Summit, and so is Ninja, and the people that are big have more than one of them. I'd like to imagine that I too now have all 3 of them somehow. But if you have one of those 3 things, Summit basically said you're gonna do well. You'll find success. If you have 2 of them, you're gonna do even better, and you can make it here. If you have all 3, you can be above and beyond. You can be an outlier. Right. You can be one of the top. But then the last thing, no matter what, is you have to be lucky, because you can have all those things. I guarantee you there are broadcasters out there that have 5 viewers or less that would stand shoulder to shoulder with everybody else that's made it, and given the audience be super successful, but they just haven't been lucky yet. They haven't been spotted.
They haven't.
I've watched those streams.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
bottom of the
I've seen
directory
those
can be
guys.
tough like that.
Yep.
Yeah, it is tough, which is why it's tough for me to when people come in and say, "Yo, how do I grow my channel?" I look in the eye, I look in the camera, and I say, "You got to get lucky. You got to you somehow you have to be like." You have to be given a chance in some way that can't be scripted. It's going to sneak up on you. And so you said right place, right time. My entire career thus far, I credit luck almost exclusively. Yeah, I'm doing some funny stuff, and we talk about the being super average. And there are some days where, like this morning, I had a 22 kill solo squad game before Tim got on, where I was literally I was reading everybody like a freaking book and annihilating every team that I ran into. It was disgusting. So I have my good skill moments. But then like I try to be really engaging in chat. I try and I make stupid jokes and do the voices and all that stuff. And it's comedic. I would like to think somebody thinks it's funny. But then if it were not for a number of things, I wouldn't have even shown up on anybody's radar. Initially, it was the Zim thing in Destiny. I had a gimmick. I had a gimmick that people were like, "Yo, what the fuck is this guy doing? What is this?" And some people were like, "Dude, that is sweet," because I would do like the camera on the keyboard and mouse and be like, "Oh my god, his hands are so fast. How is he doing this?" And some people were like, "Wow, you are a really horrible human being, and I hope your house burns down." That kind of thing. But
how do you live with yourself cheating every day?
I wake up in the morning and do a backflip into my pants just like everybody else. Stepped okay. I mean that it got attention. It got attention. I
gotta embrace that thing that makes you different.
Exactly.
That makes you stand out. Whatever it is.
It put me out there and it put an eye on me where other people wouldn't have necessarily looked at me. They said, "All right, this guy's pretty good, but is he only good because of his mouse and keyboard, or is he actually good?"
So tell me, I remember seeing you and let's see, you were on stage at GuardianCon, and that's the first time that I realized that the potential of Destiny competitive, right? And you went and you right when D2 launched, you signed a contract, and it seemed like it was a hopeful time. You had signed with Rogue, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And how did that? I mean, where did that go as far as like a competitive placement? Because obviously D2 competitive is really not developed as it could have been. But where are you with that?
So it was, I had a dream a long time ago about playing video games for a living. And what I do now is being entertaining for a living. Video games are a tool to be entertaining. Signing with Rogue for Destiny, whether it was going to go competitive, like truly become an esport or not, it didn't really matter because it got my foot in the door no matter what. And I think anybody, at the time, a lot of people were said all sorts of things about us, especially about me. I saw a lot of people that were like, "He's never won anything. He's always been trashed on. He's terrible, Destiny. Why'd they sign him?" And it was because I had a mentality, because I was a positive person, because I represented something that they wanted Destiny to be. D2 was coming to PC, and they're like, "Well, Lupo's been playing on PC for literally years. He's got to be good. It's like a no-brainer. Let's just put him in there." But it didn't even matter. None of that mattered. Whether D2 went competitive or not, it didn't matter, because the group of people, my portion of it was I represented something for them, right? I was never really a toxic idiot. I'd never, talked shit about people's parents. I never threatened anybody. I never got a com ban on Xbox. It is very specific. No, I never had it. None of that stuff ever revolved around me. I was never a source of negativity. So I showed as somebody that they could embrace. Sure. Which is good. Can we get some toxic in the chat, please? Thank you. So it was an opportunity to get my foot in the door because I didn't know if D2 was going to take off, but what if something else came along and it did? And I think a lot of people don't realize this. I have made a lot of calculated decisions about what to do and where to be and whether or not it was the right thing. I spent a lot of time trying to decide, is doing this right now, is this the right thing to do or is it not? Some of those decisions take a while to figure out because I don't like to jump ahead. I don't like to just go out on a limb.
Take a risk, right? You have a family.
Exactly. I have a 2.5-year-old son, almost 3. Holy cow, he turns 3 in August. Jeez. Yeah. That's terrifying. Now, we just bought a new house and moved and I left my old job to do this full time. There's just been a lot of stuff that's like, I think a lot of people looking back at it would say, wow, that's super risky. When I did those things, when I've done any of these things, I've spent so much time preparing that it doesn't feel risky to me. And that's why I've been like, yeah, I'm definitely afraid. Don't get me wrong. It's terrifying. Signing to a team for a game that might not go anywhere to a point is terrifying. But at the same time, it also looked like to me an opportunity to go somewhere if Destiny didn't take off. And that's so far it feels like a good choice to me. So,
and did Rogue go?
Well, I was going to say, I don't want to lose track of the transition from when D2 came out and then when BR for Fortnite came out as well, because I think that's an interesting.
That's what I was just about to get into. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because my bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was looping it around. I think the connection that I wanted to see and talk about is, how did you connect with Ninja as far as like his streams and because you guys became fast friends, it seemed like.
Yeah.
And did you kind of plug into that with the rise of battle royales, or how did that relationship form? Because I feel like when you guys are when I'm watching you on stream, and it really feels like, what connected with us as a podcast team and how I knew things were right for us as a group. It just felt right, and it was entertaining and fun to be part of this thing that we had here. And I feel like when I'm watching you stream with him, it has that sort of same connection, like almost that you guys have known each other for years. But how did it fit into that rise of battle royales and you playing from Destiny and connecting into that?
So a lot of people don't realize this, but when D1 first came out, Ninja was big into it.
Yep.
He whooped a lot of ass, especially with bad juju. There's a couple videos out there of him with juju, like it was trash too, and he was just destroying people with it. But I actually didn't even know that he had a presence in Destiny 1 for a while. He and I met through the grenade herd around the world. I will attribute a majority of my success thus far, at least exposure, being given the chance to be successful thus far, to a single grenade in PUBG. And I've told everybody else this. People are like, "Oh, you wouldn't exist if it weren't for Ninja." I don't know about that. I wouldn't exist if it weren't for me, but I wouldn't have had the chance to exist necessarily without a single this grenade. So if you play Battlegrounds, I spotted a player north side of Pachinki going to a building. I cooked a grenade perfectly when he was up on a balcony and tossed it and then turned and ran as he was destroying me, admittedly, with a scar. If you watch the clip from his side, he's actually like annihilating me with this thing. He gets like 6 hits, but because of desync, I only got hit twice in the game, so I survived. And the grenade, he caught it in his mouth like a puppy dog, and it blew up. And his face was seriously one like this the whole time because he couldn't believe it. And that's how we connected through that single game. And we ended up, a couple days later, we ended up playing together. And the rest is history. And the rest is kind of history. We just, like you said, you just know we clicked very quickly, and he's one of my best friends now because of it. It's actually pretty wild that things went the way that it did. At the time, he was not as successful as he is now. Now, when you average 100,000 viewers a stream, are you fucking kidding me? That's ridiculous. Right. Like, it's crazy. Like, you don't even know what to say about that. No one does that.
It's groundbreaking.
Yeah, it's just brand new.
I remember when D1 first launched, Lupo, and Bungie was streaming like different, watching different players stream the game. And I remember seeing a clip that they put out, and this is the first time I had heard of Ninja, is he was on top of the vent in the tower, and he had invited a bunch of people, and he was playing music, and he had a panda hat on his head. And I'm like, who is this Joker, right? I hadn't heard of him before. But then I forget the song that was played, but it was some,
Wasn't
dance.
it Turned Down for What?
Yeah, Turned Down for What. That's right.
Yeah,
I remember his, like, that's when I started watching him. But that connection of your sort of dry sense of humor and his goofiness really makes some entertaining streams. I gotta give you guys like just a shitload of credit for the entertainment.
Thanks. It's none of it has ever been forced. None of it's ever been. It just has happened organically. And let me say this too. I've experienced this with only a handful of people that I've ever met through gaming in this way. A couple of my real life friends. Incidentally, a different Ninja with Noel and Ramblin' and now Tyler. There's a handful of people that kind of fit this role, and you just know. I don't know it. But so I blew him up in PUBG, and we started playing together, and we developed a friendship, and then and Fortnite came out, and actually at first I was resistant. So
Fortnite BR.
Before Fortnite. Yeah, the Fortnite BR.
Okay.
I actually have never played the PvE portion of Fortnite. I still have not.
Amazing. It's actually amazing. Yeah,
That's great.
But
it makes sense.
Before that,
Yeah.
Your mic's cut.
Your audio cut. Yep.
I think you disconnected from Discord,
Yeah.
Oh,
which means that you
really?
can't hear us.
Yeah. No Discord audio.
I think you disconnected from Discord, Lupa.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I must have kicked him.
I
was getting-
was
He was getting a little mouthy.
getting a little out of hand there,
He's getting
Pope.
a little
You have to,
He's in general. Move him up.
Yeah, I'm going to.
move me up in Discord again.
I'm
Okay,
going
we're good.
to.
We got you.
There we go. No, he's out again.
Hold
oh,
on.
he's out again.
Okay, he's back.
Oh, no. He's back.
Say something, Lubo.
He's in there.
Yeah, but his
Here,
audio is
he's
not
in
working. No audio from Discord.
You got to move me up in Discord. I'm not in
You're
there.
up, You're
You
up.
are.
You got to move me to
moved
the
up.
right channel. I closed out and reopened it.
It says you're still in there, so I think there's a server thing going on.
Okay, I'll close out of Discord and reopen it.
Jawohl.
We're going to blame
Womp,
the Windows update.
One sec.
Because the Windows update
This is
ruins
why you edit
everyone's
shows after the fact, right?
Mm-hmm.
We'll be good. We'll
And
figure
it's
it
good
out.
that we're not doing this live. 'cause
Chat,
that
stop.
would
You
be
go soon, man.
embarrassing.
That, yeah, it'd be super embarrassing.
And we were just getting to good parts of the
Did
story.
Discord actually die?
I was highly
You know what this
invested.
reminds me of, Briar? It's like that moment, you're roasting a marshmallow on a fire, and you're gonna make s'mores, and you've taken your time
Okay, let's try this again.
carefully roast the marshmallow perfectly,
Yeah.
and then
it falls off the stick into the fire.
just slips right
Maybe.
off,
Check one.
or catches fire and
All
goes.
right, can you hear me
That's
now?
what this
Yay!
is.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, cool. We're back. All right,
Yay.
okay, that was
We're
weird.
back.
Discord just wouldn't even start. Anyway, what was the last thing that I was saying?
Getting right into Fortnite BR, you were resistant to it.
Oh yeah. Before that even came around, I left PUBG basically for a while to play Destiny a crap ton. Destiny 2 came out and I played it on PS4 like religiously. We were blasting through stuff and the road guys were trying to do world first raid stuff, and then the prestige version of the raid came out, vanilla raid, in December, and we struggled like freaking crazy. And I was fed up with how PvP felt. It did not feel fun. It felt forced, grindy. I couldn't. I didn't. I felt like I had the wind taken out of my sails. And so I went back to PUBG, and started and was dabbling in Fortnite at the time. Like I kind of was mixing games together. But
this is December.
This December is when the Prestige came out, right?
No, I think Prestige
wasn't it. Was it
Curse of Osiris came out around there. Then the Raid Layer came out in December.
Okay, then it was well before that. Then
so October.
Yeah, I think it was like October.
Yeah, October.
October makes more sense for the BR timeline.
The timeline is all wacky in my head because I've lost track. I don't even know what tomorrow is, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
So as soon as that Prestige Raid Layer or that Prestige Raid, the first one, kind of failed in October, I was like, well, this isn't fun. I'm not doing this anymore. And I had already kind of taken a whack at my own viewership a number of times. I had super high hopes because the D2 PC beta was the highest I had ever gotten my viewership without a host or raid or anything like that. I had like 2,500 viewers, which was crazy. And Destiny was like, holy shit. I got to play with like that's actually when I met Tim the Tatman. That is the first time I played with Dr. Disrespect. Was me and Tim and Doc and Ninja played quick play on the PC beta and won every single game. Like every single one was a mercy. We were just destroying people. It was a blast. I was like, holy shit, guys, we freaking made it. But now, after the game came out on PC and the viewership numbers were super, super low in comparison, I could tell something was off. Mm-hmm. So there was like people don't really want to watch this, which is surprising because the PC beta was like everybody wanted to play it and everybody wanted to watch it. It was nuts. It felt so good. And so eventually the BR came out for Fortnite. And I was like, oh, nah, I won't bother because I had heard that there was a lot of like randomness with the shooting model. AR's bloom was big and it oftentimes felt like for some people like it was luck of the draw. Whoever rolled dice and got better numbers, their shots decided to hit. It was just a toss-up. There was no skill involved. And so I was like, I don't want to play that. That sounds like crap. And then they started to scope things down and correct things and patch things. And then my buddy Tim, Darkness429, said, hey, you should really try this game. Just give it a shot. Because I had said the same thing to him. I was like, I bet you $50 the first you play this game one time, because I was watching it and I knew him. I was like, you play this one time, you will love it. And he's like, no way. I was like, I'll bet you $50. If you don't absolutely love it, I will give you $50. And so he played it on stream. I remember that day I wasn't streaming. I was out with my wife, and my Twitter exploded with clips of people that are like, look at Tim, look at him. And it was a clip of him like destroying somebody and just cackling. And I was like, I fucking knew you'd love it. It was a very in-your-face moment for me. And then he was like, all right, you have to try this. And so I was like, whatever, I'll give it a shot. So I'm running around, I'm playing through it. I was like, yeah, cool, it's whatever. And then I found a rocket launcher. The first time I got a rocket launcher in the game. And I blew somebody up with it. And in the feed it said, Dr. Lupo exploded the person. And in that moment, Tim and I were talking. I couldn't help but read it with a Russian accent. It's just, I don't know why. But comrade, you pick up a rocket in game, you explode man, this character out of nowhere. And I just started laughing. And that was kind of like, that was the start of, that was the beginning of the end. And Fortnite kind of has since taken over.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's an awesome.
That's great.
Awesome.
That's a crazy story. I mean, it's like, and now you're, I can't seem to. You're a Chattis follower only or a subscriber only.
Oftentimes
it is. I see you with often with over 10,000 people watching you. It's crazy. It's exciting, and we're really proud of you.
Seriously, man,
congratulations!
It's amazing.
We are very proud of you, Lupo. It's amazing. It's been amazing watching the growth. It's crazy.
It's very terrifying.
One of the biggest ones, though, you said pre-podcast, you're in the top 5 of most sub channels on Twitch, right?
Yeah,
that's astonishing.
That's crazy
number.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's incredible.
It doesn't feel real.
And one of the reasons why I wanted to have you back on the podcast is just to kind of like, loop you back around and go like,
Lupo you back around.
Lupo
back around and go. All these people that were with you, at the beginning, and you're meeting all these new people, that you got this family at that's still that core, a Destiny core that can't be more proud of you. And so we're going to get into talking about some Destiny. I know you haven't been playing a whole lot of it.
I played some before this podcast. I played some Warmind last week, and let me be very clear, because I just saw this comment in chat. No, it's important. It's important that people understand this. And you know me. I mean, I've literally just said before the podcast started. Or maybe it was after. Everything's kind of blurred together. I pride myself on my engagement with chat.
Yeah.
Said Yeti abandoned Destiny for kids to watch him play Fortnite. That's not even remotely the case. At no point along the path did I ever say, man, I just want kids to watch me play video games. No, I just want to have fun, and I wasn't having fun with Destiny.
Absolutely.
And everybody's entitled to their opinion. If you had fun with Destiny before Warmind, then more power to you. I please do. I encourage you to have fun in whatever game.
You know, and Lupo, here's the important thing that people need to realize is that it's not fun watching a streamer that's not having fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to go. It was a huge risk for you, and you got to go where your passions are, and your risk paid off. And I believe that this world is filled with successful people. Those stories are common. They take a risk. And if for every person that's taken a risk and has been successful, there's thousands that have failed at it. So any person that's taken a risk and has been successful deserves everything that's come to them.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because that entrepreneurial spirit is hard. It's hard to be there. It's hard to be.
Lupo, you said it's terrifying. Even though you go through the steps of planning, and I identify with that as well, because
yes, you did.
Being somebody who's full-time streamer and all that, like there's a lot of those steps where you go, I can measure this much, but there's still going to be this much of what is going to happen. How is the future going to turn out if it goes completely lopsided or something like that? And it's one of those. It's an entrepreneurial spirit. Exactly. You have to be able to take the risk in order to get to those positions, and to put yourself into that place where you might get lucky, because that is a huge factor.
Yeah.
If I didn't have a love for Destiny, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have. I mean,
oh yeah.
You also owe me. There's that one thing that that time that
It's the time that Pope beat you in Fortnite.
I mean, and then I said, this is if you lose, you got to come on the podcast. And
we're not supposed to tell people about that, Pope.
I'm just saying, like, that's the real reason why you're here. After this time is up, our bets clear. Our
okay.
Clear, all right.
All right. Well,
so
I guess
that and a Dr. Lupo shirt, and we're clear.
Lupo, you did get a chance to play the Warmind, and it's been a while since you played Destiny 2. So I was kind of wondering what you thought about, obviously there's been a lot of changes to Destiny 2. What'd you kind of think of playing the Warmind? And you played a little PvP today. What'd you think of the PvP?
So let me be very clear first and foremost. D2 still, to start to finish, has the best engine of any shooter I've ever played. It still feels so freaking good. When there's no latency issues, it still feels better than every other FPS. It I don't know why, but it just feels so good. It is jarring to go to a dedicated server environment after you've been playing Fortnite for months and months and months. PUBG before that. Granted, PUBG has its latency issues. Fortnite does too, but not like teleporting wizards across the map like Destiny does, or people that don't take damage. Sometimes doesn't happen that often on PC, but it definitely feels right now like I was playing before this, and the changes to heavy ammo, the pacing there, that feels better. It feels more and more like I can kind of I can pull some shenanigans off without having to hold hands with my teammates all the time, which is good. Granted, we can't talk about September. Mm-hmm. But September is going to be big smile in chat is what September will be. Huge mood.
Huge mood.
but I don't know whether that means I'm going to come back to it or not. So the Warmind story. So I played through that in about 2.5 hours. 2 hours, 2.5 hours. It was short. Holy crap, was it short? That being said, I repeatedly found myself on stream, and people that are in chat or listen to this later that were around for that stream will know what I said very clearly, that everything felt way more like I had to do things. It wasn't just like bullet sponge bosses. There were mechanics. The spoiler alert, plug your ears. The giant wizard fight, super cool. All the like boss style fights felt cool. I felt like I was whooping some ass, and I wanted to feel like I was whooping ass without sitting there being like, reload. That's boring. And Vicarious Visions did an excellent job with that. Holy cow, they did an excellent job. I love the fact that they changed up the way that campaign progression felt in terms of the actual engagements. That was great. There wasn't just like, all right, let's sit in the same spot and have ghosts do this thing, and I'm going to shoot bad guys for 15 minutes. Grats, you beat the mission. I felt like that was the theme of Destiny 1 towards the end and the beginning of D2 a little much.
To dip into any of the end game afterwards?
Not yet. Unless you count playing the Rasputin song and dancing to end my stream, that's pretty end game, I would say.
It's the ultimate end game.
It was freaking hilarious.
There is a whole piece of it, Lupo, that
I haven't even seen.
No, I know, but there's a whole piece of it that's really exciting. Do you remember? It's not quite D1 original grind where you're like doing loops of the Cosmodrome, picking up spin metal or whatever. It's not that version of D1. It's a little bit further down the chain where you're still going out and you're grinding for materials and getting kills to fill up things. There is more activities that are meaningful, and there's loot behind them. There's lore tied into the adventures. There's a fun piece of the game that you'll appreciate and enjoy after the story mission.
I look forward to getting those. I think my plan right now is like it's like Sunday nights and maybe one night during the week, just jump into Destiny, see if anybody is on, and be like, hey, let's run some shit. Come on, and just mess around with it and play the game in the way that I think it kind of fits in my life right now. Is not necessarily the focus.
Right. To have fun.
Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Just have fun with it.
Streamers having fun.
Yeah.
Figure, right?
Speaking to Pope's point, that's one of the things that I love about the Warmind so much is that once you're done with the story, and now that we're done with the raid layer, what my daily kind of play in Destiny has become feels much more like the Taken King, right? Where there's things to go collect, there's kind of mysteries to solve, there's still a light grind portion of it, and then there's PvP to kind of, Iron Banner is available right now, and I really like 6v6 in Destiny 2. So there's just my daily like kind of loop of play has become much more like it used to be in Destiny 1, as opposed to over the last 8 months. It's really been it's PvP or a different game.
Yeah, exactly. There's been so many options, like the Catalyst, huge part of that. Escalation Protocol, seeing what boss is there, working on things that relate to that as well, like drops. Also
collecting all of the stuff that's everywhere.
Yeah, getting your.
I think I like Escalation
level.
Protocol more than I like the raid.
Yeah,
I think I do.
Really, I really like
really
Spire of
fun.
Stars though. Spire of Stars. I really enjoyed Spire.
Escalation Protocol is just you go in there and you just fuck shit up. Like it's fun, man. Like you don't have to worry about standing on plates or call outs. You're just blowing shit up.
It feels like a really nice compliment to a raid-like activity.
Yeah. It definitely feels endgame, but not like a raid.
Raids are extremely mechanic based. Where if somebody's not on the same page, you're like, okay,
that's not bad. Tryhard's not bad.
Yeah, but like Escalation Protocol is about like how much firepower can you amass right now, and it's got its pros and cons for sure. Because getting 9 people together isn't for everybody, which is a problem.
And we're gonna get.
Although I have a segue.
Yeah.
There was a 3-man completion of Escalation Protocol.
Didn't Giggs? Isn't that Giggs?
It was Giggs, Glad, and I can't remember the last person.
All 385.
Those nerds, dude. What a bunch of nerds. 385.
Oh my gosh. But this was like, so although it's like these are the
wow,
the
get a
top
hobby,
PvE players, although those are the top PvE players, right? It's like we didn't even know up until now that was even possible to 3-man escalation protocol. That actually goes into the TWAB as well.
I assume they're all max light level at this point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
But we didn't even know that was possible, right? We were like,
there
can you
is-
6-man
there is
it?
a
Can you
good
9-man
piece
it?
of
I don't know.
The TWAB goes into this in detail. They get a one of the designers from Vicarious Visions answers the question of the content behind Escalation Protocol, that it was originally designed as a 3-man activity, that it was designed as an end game max light level 3-man activity. Now, is it fun to play with other people that are in the zone? Yes, and they're welcome to join in. But it was originally designed to fill a gap, according to Vicarious Visions, of providing something that required you to have max light, right? Where there's not a lot of activities in the game.
Needed desperately in Destiny 2.
Which is needed. Yeah. So I think there's been a lot of pushback from people that say Escalation Protocol is too hard, that it requires such a high light, and that now people are.
We haven't had a chance to get to high light yet, right? Even I'm still in the 370s and I play every day.
Right. So there's people that feel that access. How long is this content supposed to last? Let me just ask that question.
Mm-hmm.
How long are we supposed to have Warmind?
In a perfect world, it would last until September.
Sure.
So or the summer. We got stuff coming in the summer.
That's part of the question. Like for a person that doesn't get to play as often as maybe every day, right? Maybe an hour or two a day. I'm still.
It's gonna last a while.
I'm 358. Yeah. I haven't played the lair. I haven't been able to complete more than first round of Escalation.
Pope, I take it back. You are casual.
I'm proud of it. I enjoy jumping on. I haven't gone through all the collected all the stuff. I got so much to do, and I really enjoy jumping on for an hour, doing some patrol stuff. Maybe getting a group of people randoms to jump in and complete, a round of Escalation Protocol.
I think that's a good feeling, but I think it's one that maybe Destiny players aren't accustomed to at this point, because everything has come so easily in Destiny 2 to every player that all of a sudden having difficulty behind, Escalation Protocol, catalysts for exotic weapons. There's a bunch of things that actually take a great deal of effort if you want to complete them in the Warmind.
Mm-hmm.
I think
that's a new thing for Destiny 2.
Vicarious Visions definitely saw, and in conjunction with Bungie, definitely saw what we were missing out on. That was the game that felt like it could be played like it was a hobby. Mm-hmm. They have added, like you said, Pope, there's like a crap number of things. There's so much stuff that you're like, oh, I got to do this, and I also need to do this, and don't forget about these milestones. And then I'm
finishing all my milestones.
I haven't done this stuff, and exactly, and that's good. That's good, because that means that you have drive and a reason to go back. I think that's planting the seed in a game that people previously, the grind was there before, but it was different because you had these non-static roles. You had like your palindrome or your eyes Luna that you wanted to get, and so people were going after that stuff relentlessly until they got it. D2 was missing that. As soon as you jumped in and you're like, oh, I got a Better Devils, I don't care about any other Better Devils that ever drops.
Here's my 50th Better Devils, and it's no different.
Yep.
Well, there's now when you log into Destiny right now, it's like you have a choice. Do I want to grind just power level? Do I just want to get light level? Do I just want to do milestones, get light level so I can get into the raid lair and get into Escalation Protocol? Do I want to go searching for the Sleeper Simulant? Do I want to go searching for Anna Bray's, rifle, whatever that thing's called. I keep forgetting. What do I feel like doing today? Do I want to grind Crucible rank to get the Red Rux's, the Claymore? Do I want to play Trials? Do I want to do a raid? Like, what do I want to do? And at the end of all of those questions, there's a reward. right? Yeah. There's a reward in PvP. There's a reward for the raid. There's a reward for
it looks good, man.
The escalation protocol. There's a reward for just fucking around in patrol and searching out for like those little diamond things, right? There's a reward for what you want to be doing in Destiny right now.
And
that's a new thing for Destiny 2.
Tuesday, we're getting Crucible Labs. We're getting some exotic.
That's Tuesday. Oh my god,
it's coming up pretty quick.
Tuesday.
Yep.
Which is wow. That's something we've wanted for a long time.
Maybe explain that a little bit. Explain it. What's Crucible Labs going to be?
So Crucible Labs is essentially Destiny's PTR. If you don't know what a PTR is, it's a player test realm like in Overwatch where you get to go and play the stuff that isn't released yet. You get to go and give your opinion on it and get to test it out.
People screamed about that for so long.
And it's happening for Crucible on Tuesday. So they can do everything in here, right? They can be like, okay, you guys want to see what it's like with a lower time to kill? Here you go. What do you think? Right? They can let us test so much stuff. And I'm so excited. I can't wait.
It's going to be interesting how they implement it. I wonder if it's going to be like the Fortnite model where they have it as a playlist, and people.
I think it's going to be that. I have a feeling
probably
it's going to be
an LTM style deployment of like, okay, we've made some adjustments to things, and here you go, give it a shot, and let us know what you think, because they did it in Fortnite for shot accuracy and the way they changed the shooting models around.
I love that they did that, man.
It was a good way to test the waters without having. You don't have to have the player download a second client. You can include console and PC. Actually, so prior to that whole thing, I was out at Epic Studios talking to them about, hey, can you do a PTR for this? We want to mess with this stuff beforehand. And they're like, we don't really want to do that because it would be exclusive to PC. We can't push out a PTR to console. And then literally one of the last things we talked about before we left was, what if you just did it as a limited time mode that was available as another selectable, and we just went from there, and you tested things there, and like, oh crap, that's a really good idea. So bringing stuff in for everybody to mess with, to get a feel for, and including, like you said, all of the different platforms. Holy cow, is that big? That's huge.
Yeah,
well, it's really important that they do it on all the platforms too, because on PC the game feels different than on a controller.
Totally different.
Like the weapons you use, the weapons you use, the way the movement feels, it just feels different, right? So if everything was balanced for PC players, it's going to feel off on console,
and vice versa,
right?
Yeah.
I mean, we have in console, we have superior field of view, more frames.
True.
A lot of the things that PC players really want.
You know what we do
have?
Aim
assist and a mouse? Oh, wait, that's just me.
Do you know what we do have on console? If you create enough particles on last week's Escalation Protocol boss and drop your frames low enough, you break him and he never gets his shield back. Ooh. And you can just keep shooting him.
Nice.
Are you serious?
Great. Thanks
Easy
for
mode escalation.
I gotta break out the base.
Just make it real shiny. As many particles.
A PlayStation 4 Pro like an idiot over here.
Oh, it still works on Pro, don't you worry.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Are you kidding me?
Well,
I didn't know that. That is actually hilarious. Oh my god.
One of the steps for
PS4 exclusive,
one of the milestones for Anna Bray's that weapon challenge. I forget what it's called, but one of the steps is to get 10 rounds of
escalation protocol. Yeah. For her scout rifle.
I'm doing it the hardcore way. You guys may have done it all at once, or maybe over 2 different.
I haven't even started yet.
I haven't done it yet.
I've done it 1 round at a time.
There you go.
Just doing round 1 over and over again.
There you
go.
Whatever gets it done,
group of friends. I call it the 360 Club. And we are hanging in public. We are there in public spaces, waiting for each other. And we say, hey buddies, let's do the round 1s. And so we just sit there and flip over round 1s because we can't get past round 2. We don't actually bother shooting the guy. We just sit there and wait for it to end and then start the new round 1.
But you know what's great though is that you can work on other things like a Crimson Catalyst or a Darcy Catalyst and all that. Like that's one of the things that I think is really great about the game right now is that there is these different pathways where you're working on stuff. So even though you're only doing Escalation Protocol level 1, you're doing it for that one task, but at the same time you could be knocking out your tractor cannon catalyst. Like,
Pope, I commend you, my friend. That's
that's the grind right there.
It's the grind. That's the grind. And it's been awesome because I tell you what, there's been a lot more people wanting to jump into Escalation Protocol, and it's like this unconscious this groupthink mentality where we all know we're not going to get past it. It's the funnest thing in the world.
There's also some great weapons that are attached to Escalation Protocol at level 7 if you're able to complete it.
They're like the best weapons in the game.
They really are.
They're
The
crazy.
SMG is my new favorite SMG that I've been wanting, like an Antiope replacement, but that's in the energy slot. And I feel like that's finally that's like my new SMG right there. And I got the sniper rifle this week as well. And it's a fantastic sniper. It's on, isn't it like kind of compared to Darcy in terms of damage once it procs the perk?
It's like a legendary Darcy.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
That makes me want to like rank up my guy and do things to level up my guy. And
but you got to do it on PC.
You know, that's what I'm talking about, though. So I heard the outcry this week of people, you know, being upset about Escalation Protocol and not understanding not understanding that, or wanting it to be a 9-player activity or even a 6-player activity. Why can't we take 6 people into these activities? It shouldn't be a patrol space thing. And I wanted to reach out to you guys and ask you, what do you think? Should Escalation Protocol be a 6-person activity? Could it be? Yes. You know, that's just kind of think about that. Talk about it.
I can't really make a decision on that until I'm at 385. Like,
okay,
right now it feels like, of course, it should be a 6-man because it's hard as balls at my current light level. But once I'm 385, my outlook on that may be completely different. You know, the way power scales is so different now than what we were used to, before this update. We know from doing the raid layer that we were just getting hammered at 365, but as soon as we hit 371, it's like, oh, every enemy in here is a one-shot with a hand cannon. So it was much easier to clear out ads. It was much easier to do, the steps you need to do the raid because there weren't just millions of ads shooting you all the time. So, like, once I'm at power level, I feel like the answer to that question will become much more clear.
I've done a lot of Escalation Protocol, and I haven't hit 385. I'm still in like the upper 370s. And last week's last week's Escalation Protocol, I don't think can be done with 3 people at 385.
No,
I don't think so.
Unless you break it.
Too many people shooting.
Unless you break it, or you are unbelievably good with managing every resource possible in the game. I don't think it was.
They spawned explodey dudes like
constantly,
nonstop right under your feet. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I think this week's boss, you can do it if you're unbelievably good.
Because you can sit in the back.
Yeah.
You can sit in the back and snipe.
Yeah, you can sit in the back, you can snipe, and there's no mechanic in there that forces you to go and get destroyed by exploders and so on and so forth. So I think there's a bit of a disconnect. I like the fact that they made difficult content for patrol.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention.
Yes.
For patrol and just in general, I mean, people complained that the game was far too easy for a while, and they were like, "You would give us something that's challenging, please, for the love of God."
And they did.
And and then some. I watched a little bit of it, and what Giggs and those guys were doing was ridiculous in order to complete a task that like previously required everybody and their mom there. Your mom literally had to play in order for you to beat it previously, and they're like, we did it with 3 people, which is nuts. I think that's good, but at the same time, if you can't have, there's a fine line between being really, really tough and being impossible.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want content that you say is designed for 3 people to be unmanageable for 3 people. It can be crazy tough. It could be like, oh my God, we got so close, we couldn't do it. Because if you get that close, that means you can beat it.
Yeah.
It means you can beat it. But you don't want it to be like, oh, we just worked our butts off and we were fighting it for this long and we got him a quarter of the way down.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? You have to find a happy place. And I think the happy place right now is leaning on the more difficult side by far.
Yeah. Yeah.
But not so far that it's like it's a crapshoot. Like you want to rip your hair out by the time you're done. You know?
I think we just need to make sure that it is a 3-man activity.
Mm-hmm.
Like a max light, fully optimized, best subclasses for the encounter. If that is 3-manable, then that's great. if you can't 3-man it when you're 375 and you're not fully optimized, then that's fine. But I think we just need to make sure that is possible when you are fully optimized to 3-man that encounter.
Let me be very clear too. I don't think that 385 random players that have gotten up through whatever other things they've done to get to that point, I don't think those people should necessarily be able to beat it. I think 385 skilled, coordinated, communicating players should be able to beat it.
Yeah.
I agree. Yep.
The other thing that
Pope's muted.
Pope's muted. Yep.
At max light level, 3 people randoms will get access to the level 3 chest and the level 5 chest. I mean, most likely. Would they get all 7? Maybe not. You may need to.
Those chests don't really drop anything though.
They don't. Yeah.
They don't. They drop tokens then? Essentially.
Is there at least a blue in there?
Yeah, there is actually a blue.
Who cares about a blue?
Well, I want to know if it's 2 tokens in a
blue.
There's
a small chance of getting a legendary, but honestly, those chests, I could just straight up ignore. Also, the actual weapon drop isn't from the chest; it's from killing the boss. So the thing that you actually want for completing the event requires you to kill the boss. You can get a piece of armor that's cosmetic from the chest once a week. That's going to be light level dependent. But if you actually want the loot that's interesting, you have to kill the boss over and over and over and over. And sometimes you got to kill him 30 times. Sometimes you got to kill him 4 times. I just want to highlight again, though, that this is the first time that we've had something like this that has taken so many people to complete in a public event. And it's highlighted the fact that this game really does need things that you can do with 6 people. That is not just a raid.
Or 9 people.
Or 9 people, yeah. That's not just a raid. It is really fun to do difficult content that is not just a raid activity.
The first time I loaded into Destiny 1 Patrol, I had 4 people in my fire team from playing Crucible. It was the first time I loaded a Patrol with a fire team, and I couldn't load 3. I could only load 3 in. I was like, why is this? What's so special about fucking Patrol that I can only load 3
I can't bring the squad where we were just capping, capping control points.
We're out raiding, we're playing Crucible. Let's just run into Patrol and run around and get materials together. Why not? Oh, yeah. There's a 3-player limit on this? Why?
I would absolutely love it if they made it 9-man. Because that's an experience we don't have. And I think we can all attest to how fun it was when we got the sword from that dude the first time the night, and you saw 9 people pick up a sword, and everyone's just going around slashing things. That's so fun. I would
remember when they did Court of Orcs or not Court of Orcs, but they did the raid Orcs, the Orcs raid, and they made the changes to it, the updates to it, and when you got across the bridge,
you mean Crota?
Everybody got to pick Crota
sword,
Yeah, and they made the adjustment, and everybody got to pick up a sword. I remember just cackling and laughing my ass off because it veered into the absurd.
You turned into a team of lot of fun, and it was a ton of fun. Everybody was just going nuts, and yeah.
And it feels like they took little pieces of D1, those fun laughing moments, and they brought it over. Mm-hmm. And I like that it's the randomness of your teams, your people in patrol joining you and being able to join you. I want to see more social pieces of the game that allow us to connect to those people. You see what I'm saying? Right now, they're instituting an event that I don't really think is 3-manable. Like you guys are saying, it's
very difficult to 3-man.
It's very difficult.
One team took 8 hours to beat it. That's not 3-manable.
So they're gonna need to adjust it. But let's take a look at the problem from another perspective. Those random people that you're meeting in patrol spaces, you can't really talk to them. Nobody ever has a mic available to them.
Right.
I mean, they could
because it all defaults to off.
Right. They can institute things like as soon as a public event starts like that, escalation protocol, it props up a prompt to just, hey, push your D-pad down and join audio, right? They could institute things that allow you to get to know the people that you're playing with and maybe join friendships and say, are there going to be toxic people? Yes. But I think there's a lot more great experiences to have when randomness is thrown in like this.
Yep.
anyway.
Nah, let's just keep it the way it is.
But, Briar, you want to get into?
We have the TWAB.
We want to get into
didn't the TWAB release while we started the podcast?
Was it a TWAB or was it a TWAB?
They're going over exotic armor changes.
What?
It's
pretty big to mention.
It's kind of TWAB-ish.
Is it TWAB-ish?
No, Watts is right. There's the exotic armor. That's pretty cool.
Fair enough.
You want to talk about them, Watts?
I don't have the page up, but I can bring it up if you want me to.
Well, we can. The first thing is like Iron Banner.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, before we go too much further, I've heard nothing but complaints from people about the lack of being able to get Bannerfall and Iron Banner.
I got it one time in 3 days.
A friend of mine said she played for like
10
8 hours and she got it one time. I'm like,
yeah,
it's really random.
It's weird.
It's odd because it's not even in the private matches. You can't even.
Well,
go
they said
it's
gonna be in private matches after Iron Banner is over, and then it's also gonna be available in quick play, competitive, and maybe will be the trials map tomorrow.
Bungie, don't you fucking tease me with Bannerfall and then not let me play it.
I know.
Don't
just saying.
I wish it was heavily weighted towards Bannerfall coming up during.
It should have.
I ended up playing in my second match, and then
me too.
Iron Banner.
Tef,
I know.
Aren't you special?
I must be because, afterwards I quit because the game would like load for like 10 minutes on PC. Apparently, it's an AMD bug, like an AMD GPU bug that was causing this, to where if you didn't have the updated driver, there was a chance that the game would take like forever to load until somebody got kicked.
Shout out to Intel for never giving me issues with the game. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah, we all owe Intel a lot.
Hashtag not an ad, but I wish, dude. Seriously.
Hey,
thanks for making the same process over the last 10 years and just charging more for it every year. You're the best, Intel.
So anyways, AMD GPU has caused the PC Iron Banner experience for me to be a little lackluster because I don't want to wait 10 minutes each match. But I did get it. I got it like my second match. I got to play Bannerfall. The second or third match.
Well, I like the remake of it. I mean, obviously, it's an overskin, but Bannerfall was one of my favorite maps. And
let me just say real quick, who cares? I've seen people bitch and moan about re-releasing of maps. I'm like, come on, Bungie, be more original. I'm like, you people don't realize they've literally been doing this since they started making multiplayer arena maps. Like it's a thing that people have loved for years.
Yeah.
I'm pissed that I haven't gotten Blood Gulch yet, frankly.
Bro, give me Lockout in every game you make, please.
Beaver Creek. I love Beaver Creek.
Everywhere. Seriously, like
we all love Beaver Creek.
Why complain about a free map, right?
I only said something because Pope said the word reskin, and immediately I imagine people coming into chat back in the Destiny, the Destiny 1 day, the start of Destiny 2, and be like, hey, this looks just like this other shit that we already had. Give us new maps, and I'm like, shut your mouth. It's beautiful.
And it's free.
And it's free.
I'm okay with playing my favorite maps for free. Coming back, and
I like that it's tied to an event.
I'm really looking forward to Rusted Lands coming back.
Yes, it better come back. I want it.
But okay. I have to bring up a sore spot for me that made me feel really sad. How much is that exclusive emote?
Okay, here we go. Let's get into the emote. Let's do it.
Wait.
I'm glad you brought it up.
I don't know. Let me ask you a quick question.
I have an opinion.
Wait. I'm gonna throw the. I know we're all gonna talk about this and we're all gonna get a chance. But I'm gonna start it off by flaming, just sending it in a wild direction. All right, you ready for this? Lupo, how much are the Fortnite skins? It's not the same game, bro. Wait, sorry.
It is. Pope,
tell me how much Fortnite costs, Pope.
That's
exactly
how much
it costs.
It is a completely different game, Pope. It is. First of all, it's a free game, right? Where
Fortnite
you were given Fortnite for free.
Free 99
and
$3.99
free.
Right?
Free 99.
And then to support the developers, a lot of people think, hey, I'm going to throw a couple bucks or $20 for a couple of skins to help support the developers because I really like this free game that they gave me. Also, Fortnite is not a looter shooter. Looter shooter.
Can I
the whole point of playing Destiny is loot.
Briar, I love you.
Yeah,
I love you.
We're gonna talk about this, but I'm gonna tell you.
I want to talk about it, Pope. I'm talking about
lots the ability to talk about it, Pope. Come on.
My issue wasn't even the price. Bungie set a precedent with the raid emote dropping from the raid. We all saw CC-kun get that, and we were like, holy crap, they're putting these awesome exotic emotes tied to activities. This is so cool. So when I woke up and I looked on Twitter, as soon as Iron Banner came out and people were tweeting pictures of this Iron Banner emote, I was so excited to hop into Iron Banner and grind for that emote. And then I find out, oh, you buy it. But not just that, you buy it and you cannot earn it. There is no way to earn the emote.
Yeah. Everybody bring it in. Circle the wagons. Circle the wagons. Join me. September DLC comes out. All right. You have this elaborate raid. They introduce a new raid. It is a giant Eververse ship.
Yes.
You enter it. You fight through multiple robots trying to sell you shit.
Yep.
And Tess Everest is the last boss, and you blast her ass into space, and they save D2.
Yeah, and it explodes exotic emotes for loot.
It's exotic emotes. You just go around.
Okay.
Love it. So this is 100% what I felt too, because like people were saying, well, Bungie took the note and said we wanted to be able to directly buy stuff. Well, here you go. You can directly buy it. It's like, that is not what we're talking about. Where if you have a hot dog emote in the game, it doesn't make sense to go get a hot dog emote from Shaxx. I'm sorry. It makes no sense. It makes sense to pull it from Eververse. She's going to sell me some sort of like corn on the cob, eating popcorn, taking a selfie, all that stuff. That makes sense to come from Eververse. But when you have an Iron Banner emote that you can only get by paying direct money and not earn it at, say rank 50 for playing an absolute ridiculous amount of Iron Banner to get that rank, that's the disconnect. 100%.
Especially when you added a raid emote.
Yes.
Like you already set that as, we have an exotic emote for the raid. Oh, but here's an Iron Banner emote that you can't earn and you buy. And it's like, oh, but people want a direct purchase, but not for emotes that are tied to activities.
I feel like they flipped the things that I would feel comfortable paying for a game that I already paid for. Let me set this out there. So and because you referenced Fortnite, and I'm going to try and be the unbiased middle ground here. Fortnite is a game that in order to play the game, and I already have a PC or a console, and I already have internet, I don't have to do anything else. I don't have to pay any additional money, right? I can download the game, and I get access to the entire game in terms of playing, that kind of thing. It's all right there. A game that I pay for, like Destiny, the cosmetic-y things, I want to be able to earn those silly things, those little extra flavor things. Those are super cool because, like, even if it's like a 0.01% chance, man, I played WoW in vanilla. I'm used to super low drop rates. I'm used to camping spawns for a freaking what was the time drake north side of Ice Crown that flew around the freaking mountains.
Holtzman's currently scaling the Appalachian Mountains.
Holtzman doesn't work here anymore.
So we can't say.
Sorry. But I camped that in order to get the drop. Like, I'm used to that stuff. I have no issue with that. I want to, and if you introduce a map to me, I'll pay for the map. I'm okay paying for a map, but give me access to the little bits and stuff because I'm used to Time Lost Project. Thank you. I'm used to paying for that kind of stuff.
And you know what? You can get those low percentage drops right now from things like the popcorn emote. But this emote,
except for this
emote is completely out of the loot pool with only purchasable.
The thing is, right, is that if they had gone with Tefty's hot dog emote, like, it's actually almost an improvement. Almost, if you could buy this with Bright Dust 2. If you could buy it with Bright Dust 2, I would say it's an improvement over the loot box of the current Eververse. But because it is an Iron Banner emote introduced during the Iron Banner, it just feels so fucking tone deaf. So tone deaf.
So let me can I
just want to read a comment in chat real quick.
Oh, sure.
Someone said, Infamous525 said, Bungie is a literal genie. They grant you your wish, but they take everything you say literally. And I thought that was a really good analogy because, yes, we want a direct purchase, but Bungie, no! No, what are you doing? That's not
We
what
want more
wanted.
primary fights. How about 2 primaries?
How about 2 primaries?
Yeah, it's true.
I'd like to present a counterpoint.
Let's have
Bring
it
it on.
Bring it on. You're not going to win.
Now,
You're wrong.
I'm gonna go like this.
False.
When I am being me, this is up. When I am playing devil's advocate, this is down.
How do our audio listeners know about that?
So please do not threaten my life.
What?
I would like to present an argument that I've seen on the internet, and I like to see myself as a learned person, and I want to present myself in this way. So please, no personal death threats. I believe that there is a cost of doing business. A company needs to afford to open its doors and create a product. They are creating a model. They've created a game, D2. They created the expansions. They also have the right to create products for the game. Before you cut me off, Briar, let me finish. They also have a right to create content for the game and sell it for a price that they believe is people are willing to pay. Now, we can argue if the price is right or wrong, and they'll sell the sale of it will be effective or not. Access to the content wise, how would people want to buy? Why would people want to buy it if it was available? Like if you grind it to 50, for example, to get this emote, and somebody could just randomly walk in and pay $5-10 and buy it, is it worth it to grind to 50 anymore? Is the yes. rarity there? That's a question that other people. I think the answer is no to a lot of people.
Some people will spend $90.
Takes away the prestige of it.
So some people will spend $90 for a trials carry.
Right. Well, I agree, but I'm also in a position where this game. I feel like this game needs to be able to support itself.
Imagine though, Pope, if they could find a way to support the game without pissing off the player base. I believe that there are ways to do that. I think one way that would be hugely embraced by the player base and make a ton of money would be by making cross saves, right? You sell a ton more copies of the game. You make the player base happy. Like, why can't we investigate this instead of a $10 emote?
You know what? What I would be okay with if they brought out a $10 emote that was not an Iron Banner emote.
Exactly.
Came out during
How about a pie in the face? I'd spend $10 on that.
Right. I would. Yeah. I have no problem paying for Eververse items that I think are cool. But I think that if you are going to make an emote that is specifically centered around an event, it should come from that event. That's just.
We just paid $20 for the DLC, right? Asking for more money right off the bat, it seems a little bad. It's also tone deaf to the fact that, like Watts says, it's an Iron Banner emote. Like if it was a pie in the face emote, I think it would be a different conversation, because we could, instead of talking about why we hate this, we could be talking about, is this a better system than having loot boxes, right? Is this a better system than having RNG? I would be arguing that you should absolutely be able to pay for this with Bright Dust, but I do think this is a better system than having RNG loot boxes. But because it's an Iron Banner emote, it just completely changes the conversation. In a world where we just finished the raid and we're all complaining that we got the same fucking raid armor that we got from the last raid lair, and they're charging $10 for an emote, we're kind of thinking, man, I wish they had spent a little more time on raid armor instead of making a $10.
Wait, the raid layer armor is the same as the last raid layer?
It's got a couple adjustments, but it's basically the same.
It's basically the same.
Yeah.
And there's 2 weapons available.
That look in your face is pretty much how most of us feel. There's also only 2 weapons that you can get out of that raid layer. Yeah.
I didn't know.
One more note that I want to underscore. Just real quick, Pope.
When I started,
I just want to underscore this real quick, Pope. Just real quick. The other thing that would happen is that if this emote was earnable after, say, rank 20, 30, 50, whatever insane amount of tokens that you'd have to collect to be able to get that rank, imagine the population of Iron Banner at least 30% higher. Just at least, because people would be interested in grinding for that.
Yeah.
it's definitely difficult. When I sat down and I started, we had a chat. We have a group chat, Lupo. We have a group chat of like on Twitter that we talk throughout the week before the podcast together. And when this came out, I usually try to take a look at an issue and look at all the perspective around it. And I got to be honest with you, this one was a little tough. This one was a little tough to wrap my head around and to see another perspective from, and just see it how, at best, I found that it was tone deaf.
Yep.
At best, I found that it had a issue with optics. That it's hard to see this decision as something that would make the player base happy. And I felt like what bothered me the most is at a time where it felt like the player base was swinging back to a spot where
that's what hurt the most.
Really liked, we were talking about Bungie and Destiny in a really positive way, and it had been like a whole week or two.
Look at this podcast tonight. Like the whole podcast was positive until we got to this emote, and then we all just went, fuck.
Okay, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, Pope, on this one. You ready?
Yeah.
If you don't like it, don't buy it.
That's true.
Mm-hmm. That's what I've done.
And I raise your hand if you purchased it.
Pope.
That's right. I bought it because when I put it on and then I do the funky dance, I swing an axe around. You can start the emote and then switch it over.
Money well
I have
spent.
No problem with that. You know what? I know you guys. You guys all have your political things in chats, and you have your views of like all of a sudden you throw an emote and you're like part of the devil. You know what? I buy a sandwich for $14.95 a day to eat lunch. If I want to buy a freaking emote for $10, I'm going to. And I don't care, it's my money. I work hard. I want to buy it. Do I agree with the way that they did it? No. Did I like the emote and when I do a funky dance, my axe swings around? Yeah, I like it. So
also just kind of how they could fix this, because now they can't, they wouldn't be able to offer it as a reward for playing now, because then people would be like, well, if I could earn it, I wouldn't have purchased it. And then it's a whole big shenanigans. But what they could do is they could make a more extravagant version of the same emote for earning it. So then you still have the prestige of, I have the emote that I earned and played a ton for. And then here's the emote that you can buy it. Like, I think that's the only way that they could.
Watts, I don't know that we need to respect those people's decisions. They're clearly making bad decisions. So do I really care their opinion? If you bought that emote, you're making a bad decision. And I don't care about your opinion.
I disagree with you. I can choose. I like to think that I can choose to spend my money however I want.
You can. And if you're wasting it, you can.
Yeah. And I you know what? I can waste it however I want. It's my money. And I really think that the economy of the Eververse can be successful, but this in particular was a poor way of bringing this concept out.
I don't know, Pope. I don't know. The Eververse store, it's so counter to a looter shooter. Every item you put behind the paywall that is the Eververse store, everybody who wants more loot in Destiny is going to be looking at that saying, boy, when there's not enough loot for rewards, when there's no new armor for trials, when there's no rewards at all for multiple events in Destiny, all sorts of stuff, but there's 50% of the loot is hidden behind Eververse. People are going to be looking at it and saying, this doesn't make sense in a looter shooter. Some other way of making money makes more sense.
Honestly,
Briar, I just go ahead.
Honestly, there seems to be a pretty clear line. If you look at the asset and it feels like it could have dropped from an end game activity, like a ship. If the ship looks like a raid ship and it comes out of Eververse, it's in a bad spot. If the emote looks like it was tied to an in-game lore event like Iron Banner, that's a bad decision.
Right.
Remember when Gigs was on, we were talking about having like a space bus as a ship.
Yeah.
That's an Eververse purchase. 100%.
Sure.
It's the
wacky things that don't fit into the universe that you're playing.
But even then though, right? When we don't get new trials armor, when we get a reskin of raid armor, but there's a brand new set of armor in the Eververse store.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's my point. And that's my point. The time to roll this out is not in May, but in September. Right now, the changes that they're making to Destiny have not had enough time to curate. They haven't had enough time to implement the changes.
I sincerely hope that September brings a huge reshaping to the store where you can directly purchase whatever you want. You don't have to rely on loot boxes, and anything that seems like a end game asset is dropped in the game and not from Eververse.
But let me use Bright Dust to buy it too.
Sure.
If I have 5,000 Bright Dust, but I can't buy the one thing I want in the Eververse store, there's something wrong with that.
So can I take a moment to give a shout out to all those people angrily typing in the YouTube comments right now?
AngerTube?
POPEBEAR is a, and then insert whatever insult you want there, please. This is, and then,
But we told you not to read the YouTube.
No, I'm not.
How many times we got to tell you?
I'm just giving them
content.
In the morning, I eat caviar and gold dust flakes on my corn.
Wow,
it's not caviar without the gold dust. I mean,
no, it's not. It's just
of course.
You might as well burn your house down if you don't have the gold dust. Bro.
I live on a hog and
build a new one.
If you guys can't understand that there is people in this community that have this opinion that that the game needs to be funded in a way and have no problem with it, then keep shouting.
But may I also
that's not
say
a fair
that's
argument.
not the problem.
It's not a fair.
I would
no,
pay.
It's not.
I would pay $1 billion
argument.
for an extravagant emote from Eververse.
Sure.
That's not related to an activity. That's literally my problem. I went from being I'm so excited to get this emote and equip it to I'm not even going to get that emote because I don't want to support that.
But I think that I've said this before. I want the parking lot to be filled with Lamborghinis and Range Rovers. I want Bungie to be the best paying studio on the planet so they attract the best and the brightest, because Destiny is an amazing game and I only want it to get better. But I do not think the Eververse store is the way to go about it. I think it just pisses off the people who play the game. It just it's too dichotomous to a looter shooter.
Okay. Because I'm the one that started this, I'm going to be the one to move this forward. All right. Can we take a second and talk about the changes to Mechaneer's Trick Sleeves and how freaking cool
I haven't read it.
Those are going to be?
What does it do?
I'm sorry.
What does it do?
Okay, so I very directly recall the hate that Last Hope got when D2 first released, and how much I loved using that sidearm, dude. It's crazy cool, especially PvP, because you would melt people. Oftentimes I ran Wida Last Hope and got the negative looks of many people. But you know what? That's fine, because Mechaneer's Trick Sleeves, if you're critically wounded now, when you pull a sidearm out, you get greatly increased damage, which means not only will Last Hope already cook, but it's going to cook even more, and people will be even more pissed off at burst fire sidearms, which is A+ in my book. So, some of these changes look freaking sick, and that one in itself makes me smile so hard.
Lion Rampant to me is the hot one. It's the mechanical changes. You can hip fire while lift is active without interrupting it, and your aerial hip fire doesn't have an aerial accuracy penalty.
Ooh,
you're gonna be a flying titan of death.
Wow,
it's gonna be so nice. I'm excited for that.
That's pretty sick.
There's each one of these changes is doing exactly what we. Am I muted?
No,
you're good.
Okay, I've been hitting alt.
Yes, you're muted. Pope, you're muted.
You muted? Oh,
so
hello,
each
Pope?
one of these exotics feels like it's really playing to a certain play style. There's as much as I talk shit about warlocks, I really enjoy playing them. And the sun bracers, I really like the fact that they the concept here is really interesting to me. The mechanical changes, original effect replaced with increase the duration of solar grenades. Solar melee kills grant unlimited solar grenade energy for a brief time.
What?
You're muted, Watson.
You're muted, Watson.
I'm muted. Colbert, did you mute me?
No.
When we were talking about Titans, we knew we had to be.
It's the only way to silence them.
I was saying that's basically giving you radiance after a melee, right?
Isn't
That's
that
crazy.
Think about that in PvE.
Cool.
But I mean, there's PvP potential to that.
That
but in
sounds
PvE,
so good.
Imagine meleeing something with a solar burn and then sitting there and lobbing a bunch of grenades and then meleeing something else and getting it again.
They're bringing back a piece of Sunsinger that was lost, and you pop your super, you just start spamming these things out. It's kind of tying back to D1, which I think that in itself, that piece of the Sunbracers change might be my favorite, is because it's like a connection back to what we were used to playing. Without bringing back freaking self-res. Jeez, I never want to see that thing ever again. But that change is super cool too. Granted, I have like a level 9 warlock or something that I play with my wife on PC. But if that warlock ever reaches level cap, you better believe as soon as I get these things in PvP, I'm gonna use them like crazy, because I guarantee you that's gonna piss everybody off. Imagine those things all over the place.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah. Yes, please.
You get a melee kill and then nade.
Yep. Yeah.
The Lunafaction boots basically have made the rally wall unnecessary in
just stand there.
Raids, right?
Yeah.
Is they now will the Rift will reload. The Rift reload is automatic instead of being activated on entry exit. Empowering Rift makes weapons more effective at extended ranges. So now when you're all standing in a spot shooting the boss, the Empowering Rift goes down. It gives you guys automatic reloads, and it gives you guys more power. And if you got it spec right, you have an arc buddy.
Yep.
Holy shit!
There is a lot.
That's good
for doubling up warlocks. The boost to the empowerment with range is huge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be necessary for DPSing for boss fights. It's going to be cool.
It's going to be huge for that, right? It's the rally barricade suddenly became optional.
I wonder how much range we're going to get with that, because what if there's some circumstances where Acreus can actually snipe bosses with extended range? Wouldn't that be amazing? It reloads automatically. So
that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. That one's gonna be fun. What else is changing?
There's a really interesting change to the syncoceps. So the mechanical changes are previously it's the Titan arms that look like you're all roided out. They have like veins. You can lunge from another area code, basically. Melee is so far, and it glitches too, because it's really hard to counter the melee on it. But the class used to be focused around that. You would be running around as a Titan with that melee range. That used to be what you played. And so they wanted to change that up a little bit. The mechanical changes, previously the perk adjusted your melee damage depending on the number of enemies surrounding you. And this was a factor that didn't really come in when you wore them. You didn't really wear them because the damage boost increased, because it was so random. You wore it for the range. But now it grants a flat bonus to melee and super damage when you're surrounded by 3 or more enemies. The buff is retained for a short duration after you no longer surround it. It's huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. This is going to be the damage increase now we know is a flat amount. It's not going to vary. And when you go into your melee spree in among ads and such, you're going to be very effective at knowing who you can go up against and who you can't. So,
I'm also
it's gonna be cool.
Looking at Dragon Shadow. That was a chess piece for Hunter that I loved.
I thought that was really cool before too. Yeah.
It was really fun to use, and now they're making it to where dodging reloads all of your weapons, and it also includes a bonus to mobility. So that's pretty exciting, because that chess piece in general, I really enjoyed and found it a lot of fun to use. So reloading all of my weapons and then being fast as well, I might try it out.
It's pretty cool.
That one now, what's the exotic perk on that one now? It just gives you the dodge ability more often, right?
It increases your
dodge
handling.
makes you move faster.
Yeah,
your dodge makes you move faster. So
okay,
speedy in general.
I would run that with Quick Fang on Night Stalker and just zip around invisible and get up behind people, and it was a ton of fun to play with that thing. So adding the just basically the reload across the board, it's another utility piece, one that I think you can bring into PvE or PvP.
Definitely.
You have to reload all your stuff.
my only concern is something like that. Like it's a cool little cool little flavor effect, but is it worth bringing that over like something like Orpheus Rig
or the Worm Husk helmet?
Yeah, for
that gives you your health back every time you dodge.
Which
is not overpowered at all.
One good thing.
No, Pope, it's balanced and fair.
Is you could do the dodge that reloads your melee, and then you could run Dragon Shadow and then have it reload your weapons. So you could have both of those perks, which I'd be interested in.
Yeah, hunters really need a boost in PvP to make sure that they can be effective.
I think so too. I'm right on the same page.
We're all definitely right there.
Pope's a fan of BA hunters.
Oh, BA hunters,
right?
Badass
That's what
hunters.
Pope always
Badass
said.
hunters.
That's what I always say. And you will never catch me saying anything else. There's some really interesting changes to these, and this makes me hopeful that the exotics that these are examples of what they're doing. It really makes me hopeful that if they're gonna touch all exotic armor eventually like this, the future of Destiny, at least for us, for September, super bright. I mean, this is going to be so much fun to play, to build these classes around these exotics. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
I can just see people posting clips of Lion Rampart, Rampart, jumping up and sniping, and I don't know, man. It's just gonna.
Well, it doesn't work aiming down sight. It only works.
Well, that's my bad. Yeah.
They're gonna just be in the air spraying you down with an SMG, which
even better for mouse and keyboard.
Bungie apparently has the balls to do another Bungie versus. You guys see that?
I saw.
I was kind of surprised. I thought that'd be the last of that.
But they're bringing in their big boys this time. You see who's on their team?
Yeah, I saw it.
They don't want to lose another one? Is that what you say?
They're not looking to lose?
They got Victor and Kevin.
VV doesn't know what's coming to them. Or maybe they do, but...
Or maybe the people at VV are amazing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Patty's pretty damn good. I'm sure that I don't think Vicarious Visions is going to come out swinging with nothing, right? They've got to be packing heat in that group. You know it.
I don't know, but I'll be watching. That's going to happen on May 30th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. I'll definitely be watching and heckling.
Yeah, I'll watch it for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we're going to have something in common with VV pretty soon.
What's that? Hashtag undefeated?
Hashtag undefeated. Those Bungie bounty emblems are going to look really sweet on. Patty is the engineer that's on that list from VV is in my clan in Res. And it's going to be really great to have more Resolute members having the Bungie bounty emblem.
You know what'd be nice is when Vicarious Visions makes Patrol a 9-person event, we could all get together and show each other our
nice. That's a good idea.
Huh?
I like that.
That's really great.
Oh my gosh. I'm not associated with this trash talk. I'm just putting it out there. I'm an innocent bystander, okay?
It's not trash talk if you're just telling the truth.
If it's the truth, yeah, Pope.
Oh, man. I noticed they brought Kevin and Victor in. I mean, I wonder, that's like...
They don't want another L.
They don't want another L,
the
for
big
sure.
boys.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see which Kevin shows up. The Kevin of the weapon preview, right?
Kevin, Mr. Snipes, Yanes?
Kevin, Mrs. Snipe, Giannis? Or is it Kevin the Machine, Giannis? I mean, which one are we going to get? That's really what I want to know. Yeah. It's no pressure on him. Like, it's not like everybody's going to be watching him and judging him, right?
No.
At all.
Totally not. Completely relaxed environment.
Maybe people will be asking him questions when he's playing. Maybe.
You guys want to do some Twitter questions?
Do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Before we do, let's thank our sponsor, On Air PC. Thank you, On Air PC. If you are looking to build a new gaming PC, maybe you want to play a game like Fortnite or Destiny 2, On Air PC can help you out with that. You give them a call. Very easy to do. Hope you got that phone number.
Nope.
Pope's eating food right now.
Why'd you do that to me, Brian?
Because you were eating food.
I'll tell you what, though. Those guys are so easy to talk to. You get on the phone, you tell them what you want, and you don't need to be a computer expert.
They'll help you walk through the latest and the greatest, get you good deals on your computer, put it together, it will work. It gets sent to you, packaged. You get there. If there's any problems, you're not gonna have some random number to, some random help service. You'll get them to be able to walk you through and get your computer up and running.
Right. They just helped me build a brand new Threadripper streaming PC, which I'm very psyched about. Thing is, I mean, I've gotten, I think, at least 25% more attractive now.
Yeah,
to nerds.
Nice.
That's absolutely true.
Minimum.
I think so.
Minimum.
I think
You
so.
happen to find like $20 bills on the ground all the time now when you're walking around.
That's right. I mean, life is just better now that
crazy.
I'm in the Threadripper fam.
Oh, it's amazing.
If you want to give them a call, 330-850-1525, and they'll help you either build a streaming PC or a gaming PC or a combination of both in one PC. Let's see. Twitter questions. First question is from Loza. What's the thing you miss most about playing Destiny, avidly, I mean, and do you ever see yourself coming back to play it like you used to? This question is kind of geared toward
It's
Dr.
clearly for me.
Yeah.
Clearly for Watts. Watts, go ahead, please. No, what do I miss most about Destiny? The just the ridiculous plays and sniping being something that was, I don't know. There are a few things in gaming, like pulling off a crazy play and especially having chat just lose their freaking minds. That feeling is I mean, that's one of the reasons I play Fortnite now. And playing PvP before the podcast and D2 was a ton of fun because you just smash people. When you have the opportunity to smash people, it was amazing. That being said, coming back, September is going to be very telling. Let me say, September is going to be very telling. You may be surprised. I know there's a couple of people in chat that are naysaying, and I appreciate you. Thank you for your sub preemptively. But it's just one of those things. Like,
have you heard of Twitch Prime?
Have you ever heard about Twitch Prime? No. September is going to be big for a lot of people, and I look forward to like those skeptics in chat. I look forward to changing some minds.
Next question comes from John Michael Mueller. What are some of your favorite differences and similarities between the Destiny and Fortnite communities?
One of my favorite things that has connected Destiny and Fortnite is the kind of the feeling of family. Recently, we did the Clips for Kids event, and in a single day, my channel did like $156,000 for St. Jude, and the event as a whole did $340K.
Awesome. Congrats!
It's amazing.
That feeling, that connection between Destiny and Fortnite, I'm really glad that came along. I'm really glad that came along. We could build that in Fortnite.
Are you still? I didn't get a chance to ask you about all the work and you and Ninja put out a couple T-shirt designs where all 100% of the profits are going to St. Jude's. Is that still available?
That actually ended, and I think the total for that shirt campaign alone over 2 weeks is about $350,000 on top.
That is
on top of
incredible.
That's
It's
amazing.
crazy.
It's incredible.
The designs were
It's
just
amazing.
great. I mean, it was such a fun.
Twaz and Rocket Line both knocked them out of the park, dude.
Twaz,
Holy
right?
cow!
The one you're wearing is by Twaz, right?
This is Twaz's shirt, and then the other one is very much a ninja style shirt that did that Rocket Line put together. They're both freaking awesome.
Nice.
They raised so much damn money. So
great.
shout out to both those guys for literally doing all of the work.
Pedro Mesquita says, "Hi DCP. Here is Pedro from Brazil. What is your favorite new weapon from Warmind? Mine is the Frigid Jackal sniper rifle from Anna Bray. Thank you for everything you do. I love you all, but I miss Holtz. We miss Holtz too.
Miss Holtz, yeah.
Unless he's trying to shoot rockets at us, then we don't miss Holtz.
I don't mind him shooting rockets at me. That's fine.
As long as he misses.
Yeah.
Speaking of,
Favorite weapons in Warmind. Anybody got one?
Whew.
Ugh.
I can speak to this one.
Yeah.
This is easy, dude. This is easy. I don't have it on live yet, but I got a chance to use it out in Seattle. Dude, Claymore is so freaking cool, dude. When we were playing in the like kind of the they're like tests, whatever it was when we were out in Seattle. Like the last round, the last play of one of the games out there, I got Desperado to activate. Granted, this is on PlayStation as well, and I had not played on a controller in a long time. But I killed all 4. Like I activated and then just chained headshots on the other 3 and drilled an entire team with it. And it was dude, that feeling was so rewarding. That was like, oh my God, everybody's dead. You know, like, yeah, I love that gun. It's a ton of fun. It is a ton of fun.
That was awesome. I was going to say the first one that I was like, oh my God, is Graviton Lance, because it did such a 180. It went from like being like, Graviton Lance, now being like, dude, Graviton Lance. It's the jam. It's freaking awesome. But then it's like Darcy I've been loving, and also Tractor Cannon. And then I got
the Tractor Cannon.
And then I got the SMG from Protocol, and I got the sniper now. There's
so many good
There's
guns.
a lot of great weapons now.
There's a really interesting design, and it's not the feel of it, the aesthetic of it for me is really neat, and I'm interested to see what it progresses to. This week we get a chance to get the Masterworks version of it, but it's
you get an extra shot in the magazine. That's what I'm for me, anyways.
All right, but I like the design and I like the design and look of the scout rifle. What's it called?
God,
Polaris Lance.
Yes.
Or
the beginning of Polaris Lance.
Polaris.
The beginning, we believe, will be Polaris Lance. But it's I'm enjoying that concept of having it be, develop over time and having to go out and get it and put it together. It's and it feels good. I'm hoping that the final version of it does a little bit more damage and is a little more effective.
A little more sparkly.
A little more. Has more little up to it, but
magic.
I like it. I like that it's a new design and a new thing, and it's not a reskin of anything.
I just want to underscore that the design, the visuals, and the audio on that scout rifle is top notch.
They spent time on it.
That gun feels like if you were to type in Google and be like, I need a futuristic DMR. Boom. They nailed it. That thing is incredible.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying Crimson. I know it's not a Warmind gun necessarily, but with the Masterwork, it's essentially a pulse rifle at that point. Like it is a hand cannon pulse rifle. It feels so damn good. When I did go to the summit and use the SMG felt amazing. I don't have it yet. I want it so bad because it's going to be perfect to put with my Crimson. So I want it so
delicious.
bad. But that SMG
with
is
that Crimson though. You were. I watched the rebroadcast of the Bungie bounty where we beat Bungie. Yeah.
Wait, what happened?
We beat Bungie?
We beat Bungie.
Wow.
Can you clarify, Pope?
Well, see, we ended up with more wins than they did.
Okay.
Okay. So we were undefeated.
Don't we know somebody who was on that team?
Okay, interesting.
On the other team?
Yeah.
On Bungie's team? Maybe.
I don't
Someone
recall.
that we used to. It's really odd.
Somebody we used to know?
Weird. Weird.
It's really weird, but he definitely got an L in his name. Right? Or maybe he doesn't.
I've been having a lot of fun with the Huckleberry. I really like its exotic perk. I really like the way it looks. I really love the reload animation for it. I can't believe they had the balls to call it a Huckleberry and not make it a hand cannon. But that aside, I really like the game.
We talked about that. We brought that up.
Yeah. I haven't got that yet. I want it. Every time I pop an Ingram,
I don't have it
I
yet
proclaim Huckleberry,
Huckleberry?
and it doesn't drop. One of these days it's going to drop.
Oh my God. I'm
like, every time it drops, that's my Huckleberry.
Yeah.
And then I'm
Yeah,
like,
I really want to masterwork it too because it gets even better when you masterwork it. But
I'm on a Huckleberry like spree. The last 4 engrams have all been Huckleberries for me.
Don't forget to send your VHS copies of Tombstone to Vicarious Visions.
Oh my God.
They can understand what the Huckleberry truly
We
should
need
be.
to spam Huckleberry in the chat next week. I can't believe it's not a pistol. I really can't.
we need another exotic hand cannon.
From what I heard, it was a conscious decision, being fully aware.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
They said that. John Wisniewski said that they were fully aware that they were naming an SMG Huckleberry.
Disgusting.
I know.
Disgusting.
I mean, they've done so many right things. Vicarious Visions did a lot of good things for Destiny in Warmind, and it was all washed away. All of it.
Wow, way to screw up the game, guys.
Right, with one decision. Name one SMG, Huckleberry, and the whole thing. You might as well not have even tried.
Uninstall it.
Done.
Dirty Socks Music says, what besides money keeps you motivated to stream every day?
I'm gonna step out of this one.
Pope literally walking away. All right.
Pope's in it for the money. That's
Pope's
wait,
for
besides the money?
What besides money keeps you motivated to stream every single day? My son is number one on the list of things that keeps me up, wakes me up in the morning and gets me to work, and he would be my motivation regardless of what my job was. He is the reason why I do what I do.
For me, it's the community, it's chat. It's, some days I'll wake up and I'm like, do I really want to stream today? And like right up to the time I hit like go live, I'm like, do I really want to do this? I'm a little tired. And then we start chatting and I've like forgotten that I was tired. And all of a sudden, 4 hours has gone by. Like, in this, like, it's so fast. Like that's what keeps me coming back. It's just super fun.
Yeah. I got to second that with community. I mean, that's 100% the reason why it's so enjoyable for me to, like, yeah, it's a job, but it's not really a job. And I've had other things that are technically kind of dreamish jobs, working in music production, so on and so forth. And it's thing that it's not for everybody, but for some people out there, it really scratches that social itch of being an entertainer, but also interacting with people on a personal level every day. And like, I love that feeling, regardless of how much money is there or not, so. Yeah.
And it's pretty similar for me. It's when you meet people in person, and I got to do that pretty recently because there was the Destiny concert in Bellevue. And of course, people who went to the concert liked Destiny. So a lot of people know Destiny streamers. And meeting people in person and seeing how excited they are and hearing their stories, and especially like a little girl comes up to me and she's like, I love watching you and I want to do what you do when you're older and all that. So hearing those stories from people really makes me want to be better for them. And just, yeah, that's what always keeps me going. When you start feeling depressed, you have a bad day, maybe stuff's going kind of bad, you turn the stream on and they just make you so happy all over again.
Watts, can you talk a little bit about that Destiny concert?
Oh man, the Destiny concert was amazing. So it was in Bellevue. It was over 2 days. They had an orchestra playing Destiny music. It was the Lake Washington Symphony. So we went there, and the first part was all Destiny 2 music. So it kind of took you through the journey of losing your light and gaining that back. And it really took you on that journey of that. And then fighting Gaul was like the final part of the first segment. And then the second segment kicked off with Regicide, which is the Taken King song.
Nice.
Oh my God. And they talked about that song as well, because the way that the composers make that music is they record each instrument individually and then they put it together. So all the songs that they have made are not made to be played by one orchestra. It's actually really difficult for one orchestra to play any of the songs that they make. So it was a lot of the composers for Bungie were there, and they're like, this is amazing because we get to hear our song being played all at once by this orchestra. So it was a very amazing experience, hearing a game that you love and a community that you love, and the communities in the audience, and hearing that epic Regicide and Eyes Up, the Axis theme song.
Oh, did anybody recognize you there, Watts?
Yeah, I got to talk to a few people there, which is always the most amazing experience. Is it
odd to see, like, have somebody like in the general public recognize you and see you? And
it's odd when they're like, thank you. And I'm like, no, thank you. I'm not doing it. I'm just sitting here playing a game. You're here being all like, you're supporting me. You're talking to me. You make me happy. Like, you give me so much. Like, you give me so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was amazing. There was a girl there she was just so excited. And I was just like, can I hug you? Is it weird? I always want to go for that. And they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was amazing.
That's cool.
I'm gonna skip questions about the emote just because I feel like we covered it. But thank you for.
I'm willing to go back in there.
You want to rehash?
It's Poke
we going
Bear
back in the ring?
is a, and then insert in the chat below. Thank you.
Rosif 502 says, "Does Lupo feel that returning to the original weapon system would allow enough skill gap for Destiny 2 to have a PvP resurgence?"
I think so. I think giving players the ability to you put one hitters back in people's hands and the ability to pull off some crazy plays, and you'll see people come back in droves. People want to feel like they're a superstar, and right now they're part of they want to be Justin Timberlake. They don't want to be in sync, and that's the problem. And Pope's like the look. I want people listening to know the look that Pope has on his face is one of agreeance and understanding, because he too wants to be Justin Timberlake. But right now, all he can do is be part of NSYNC, and you know. You're Lance, dude, and that's okay to be Lance, but you want to be Justin, and I get that.
I want to be Beyonce, Lupo.
Well, Beyonce wasn't in NSYNC, but I appreciate you.
She was in Destiny's Child.
Destiny's Child.
I don't want to be Kelly.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Kelly doesn't want to be Kelly.
I want to be Kelly.
But you know what
I don't want to be Michelle, though, for sure.
Okay, truly nobody wants to be Joey Fatone. But it's just one of, you see what I'm saying though, right? Like people will come back if I can just start smacking everybody like it doesn't even like no one can stop me. And they want to bring sexy back, so to say. And right now they can't do that. Right now you need a bunch of friends to help you bring sexy back, and that just doesn't work, okay?
No, I agree. Maybe September. There's weapon slot changes that are coming.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to be.
There might be random rules.
Weapon randomization. Whatever that means.
Iwan says, "What are your thoughts on no radar PvP? Do you enjoy it, and do you think it's the right solution?"
I want to speak on this from 2 points of view. So, playing at the Bungie or doing the event where we absolutely crushed and dominated and destroyed all of our enemies and opponents.
That happened.
We got to play Countdown and no radar with the box of a field of view of 70, and the audio cues being so low is terrible. Really, really bad. I did not enjoy that at all. Going to I played Trials then on PC like a week later after that, and I had a fantastic time, but I could also whip my mouse back and forth to check my corridors at any point. So I didn't have like the sluggish, oh, nobody's there. Oh, somebody's in front of me. You know, I could just check real fast, just whipping back and forth with the mouse. So I didn't mind as much. And plus I was at 105 field of view. So the feeling between the two is so different. Console needs the radar. That field of view is awful. On PC, not so much. You can get by if you're using a mouse.
So the first time that they did that, it was Burning Shrine. And I actually was like, okay, that wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would be. And that's because the map is kind of smaller when it comes to the engagements. You can kind of know where people are. There's a lot of jumping around the middle part of the map, and that's the one thing you can actually hear. So that felt like it worked okay. But then playing on the larger maps, especially survival on the larger maps, I do not like it, because what they can do when it's survival and there's no radar, they can go up and go hide, and you can't run around the map and see them on the radar. It promotes such a passive way of playing when it's like that. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Destiny has been created so much around the radar that they would have to make a lot of fundamental changes to the audio and a lot of other things to make no radar feel like it was native to Destiny. And, I would be totally fine with them bringing in the radar for trials or just in general, but I think completely no radar I don't think it feels as good.
I had an interesting opinion. Like when it first came out, I was supportive of it as a concept because I felt like it was the first step towards Bungie differentiating the competitive playlist from the social playlist. And I thought that those were really positive steps. I feel like they needed to make some specific changes to make competitive feel different than social. But after spending time and playing, it doesn't. It's not the solution that I feel like it totally needs. And I understand that I applaud them for making changes and trying new things, but I feel like what Watts is saying is that a smaller radar, or one that's more accurate but smaller in the range that goes out, would be better for competitive than a radar.
That's literally what you just mentioned is exactly what I was going to say. I've often felt like the radar in D2 thus far is like you can see across the map almost.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like there's detection at a range that makes flanking just freaking impossible unless you're in the longest corridor known to man, which means competitive with the radar is going to be crazy campy because people are just going to play the corridors and just wait and try and take risks. Somebody's going to step out of line and then they die. And then that's when you push. With no radar, it's incredibly campy. You have to have like Halo 5. When that came out, they had cut the radar down so short that it was maybe 15 meters around you. And that was basically it. It felt like you had to almost be able to smell the person to know that they're there, but like for them to show up on your radar, but they were still on your radar. If they cut it down significantly, but still kept the radar in, I think, like you said, on console, if you play without radar, you're like
you feel claustrophobic.
Yeah, yeah. You want to try and keep everything in front of you, so you're just gonna stay in a damn corner and wait, and you don't want to play like that. That's not fun to play. That's yeah, it might work, but it's not fun to play. They got to put something back in and give people the ability to see without line of sight, but not so far that you can see people the next flag cap over like you can right now.
100% agree.
Mr. Goodbye says, do you think Bungie will ever increase clan sizes?
We brought it up at the summit. Brought up a bunch of clans.
What's the reason that it's low now? What's the reason that
that's the thing.
Why cap it at 100?
The number, the concept behind, I don't disagree with the concept behind what they're trying to do. They felt like from a sociological standpoint, having groups larger than 150 loses that sense of closeness. And
is it 150 or 100?
It's 100.
It's 100.
I thought it was 150, but it's 100. So above that grouping, you start to lose. You start to not know the people in your clan, kind of thing. I understand where the concept that they're going behind, but they need to find. The problem that I run into is that I don't mind that so much because I don't necessarily disagree with them, but I mind that the activities within the game that are locked to clans really are counterintuitive. There's a lot of people that you used to be able to partner up your clans into other groups, like a larger umbrella. And if I have a larger umbrella of clans and I'm able to do guided games and I'm able to do clan activities via that, I think that that's acceptable. But right now, I mean, clans aren't really effective in the way that they're being implemented.
Nope.
So
They're not.
Also,
the question for me is mainly, what are they going to do with the whole thing?
Yeah, it makes it very difficult for people to sociologically interact with each other when they don't play the game either. So your clan just disappears because people stop playing and all that. And then it makes it even more difficult to manage when people want to come back, but they're left and so on and so forth. They need more people in the clan.
I'm currently clanless. I'm just saying.
Not for long, sir.
Well, what sucks too is that you do have people that do want to be in a clan, but then you have people who haven't played in like 2 months. So you kick them out of the clan to make room for the new people. And then Warmind comes out, and those old people are like, "Oh, hey, why'd I get kicked out of the clan?"
Yeah.
Oh, it's impossible.
Why is there only 100 spots? Damn it.
It's impossible.
Zach Strauss says, I'd like to hear a discussion about the assist and kill system in the Crucible. Do you prefer it over Destiny 1 system? Scoring in PvP in D1 was much better, in my opinion.
Yeah, make everybody feel like they're a legend, dude. I've always had an issue with it's the same system that Overwatch uses. I touch this guy, therefore I get credit. Which, I mean, it has its merits that everybody feels good about themselves if they've shot a guy and then hit and let somebody finish him. But I I do miss KD instead of KDA. But I know that maybe isn't the popular opinion.
But Lopo, it doesn't make me feel good when I didn't do anything and I get a triple kill and I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
But I didn't. I don't feel good at all. I don't feel like I did anything. I don't mind being given assists when I assist, but I don't want that to be in like my kill thing. Like I want to have a separate kill. I want to see my kills. Like I want to see my kills. That makes me feel good. I got a triple kill. Okay, I actually got a triple kill. I don't look at the bottom of the feed and I'm like, oh, actually, I didn't get the last hit on any of those people. It was just my grenade.
Yeah.
I
like the concept behind it to implement, support players getting recognition. However, I feel like there really isn't a space for support players and a development of those classes. At least right now, we may be seeing that in the future, hopefully, with some of the way that these exotics are playing out. Maybe there's classes built around being a support player. But I think that the points should come in a different way, like Watts is saying. It pollutes the kill feed when you are, you should be getting points and being rewarded as a support player. But two things need to happen for that to they need to make support players more of a point and just find a different way of awarding them those points instead of in the kill feed.
So actually, Briar, do you want to talk?
Go ahead.
Okay.
It's the most relaxed I've ever seen Briar, by the way.
Just chilling.
This
isn't a point that he.
I think the reason. So
basically, I don't give a shit.
I feel like the reason they went down this path was because they fundamentally changed the time to kill and the way the game feels. And they thought, well, if we're going to change it to this long of a time to kill, we need to change the scoring system. And I agree. It doesn't feel as good to throw a nade, run around the corner, and then suddenly get a triple down. And you look down, it's like, oh, Briar did Fist of Havoc and got those. But I happened to tickle him with my my bolt nade or something. And so I got a triple kill with that. That doesn't feel good. And also, why is it that you can just hit somebody with one SMG bullet across the map, do like 1 damage, and get a kill assist from that? That makes no sense.
Hey, Tefty, I was part of that freaking kill. Okay, don't you take this away from me.
Those cross-map SMGs.
Don't you take this away from me.
That fundamentally is an issue. If they're gonna stick with the system, they need to adopt what Battlefield does, where like if you got the majority of the damage off on the enemy, it's considered a kill for you because you did 90% of the damage. Like I also think it's annoying if somebody also gets the final kill with an SMG and does 10 damage and they're the final kill. It's like, nah, you stole my kill. I'm sorry. You stole my kill. That should have been mine.
True.
Yeah. If they go back, though, if they lower the time to kill, then I think they 100% need to go back to KD instead of KDA.
And have KDA be like an advanced stat that you can look at. When you're looking at all of the stats post game, and then you can do advanced stats. Okay, this is my KDA.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I want to know who my Slayer is.
I think it makes more sense to do it the opposite way. Is keep KDA on the main screen, but you got to hit like R2 to go see your advanced stats, and then your kill death, your assists, everything's broken down more. Yeah. That way, the most casual of players get to see. Oh, look, I had 13 kills, even though really they had 3.
I would actually love to hear from them.
What's that?
I would love to hear from someone who maybe isn't that great in Crucible and how they feel when they get triple play and they didn't get any of those kills, or how they feel seeing it pop up that they got the kill but they didn't actually. I'd like to know how they feel about it, because for me, I feel very unrewarded with that system. I feel way more rewarded when I see the kills that I get. But I'd like to hear from them.
Yeah,
let us know what you think about it. I kind of don't have a problem with it in quick play, but in competitive, it seems more out of place. But I really don't give a shit, to be honest with you. It just doesn't matter to me.
Yeah,
Briar doesn't look at the end screen. He's always on top.
Also, though, at the end of the day, it's like if it's not on a dedicated server and with a decent tick rate, then you could also be the first person shooting that person constantly, and you got like a 10 hertz tick rate against that person, while somebody else is dealing damage delayed, but they get the kill because of the way the network is. So Briar's right. It doesn't really matter right now. The game's not set up to truly be that competitive yet.
Right.
Zach, nope, never mind. David says, with the major expansion dropping in September, do you think Destiny 2 could survive a year-long content drought like they did for Taken King or Rise of Iron?
What does survive mean?
Yeah.
What does survive mean? I mean, the game's not going anywhere. It's not going to they're like, oh, well, half people left. Time to shut it down. They're not going to do that. So survive is a kind of lends itself towards interpretation. A year is a damn long time. I went through a number of World of Warcraft content droughts. I mean, Destiny 1 had its round of issues. I think a year is a pretty freaking long time, though, to not get even a sprinkling of something to try and get people to keep playing. I would be scared for the game.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, they need a schedule.
Happen. Let's not do that.
They need a schedule. They need to adhere to it with content, and it needs to not be Eververse.
I'm hoping that Vicarious Visions is already working on like the spring DLC for next year. Like that's my hope. I don't know if that's true, but good Lord, I hope so.
And can they please just reuse some of the stuff that's in the game? Can the Infinite Forest get a refresh? Can Escalation Protocol get a redo in February or something of next year? Don't be afraid to come back to these activities and give it a polish or a once over and say, here's some new content. Here's some new weapons. Why can't the raid weapons have seasonal weapons?
Yeah, I mean, use the framework of Escalation Protocol and put it on a different planet, like
fighting a different, enemy.
Fighting different bosses. Yeah, that'd be really cool.
That'd be pretty sick.
That would be cool.
Lost Sectors completely unutilized. Adventures completely unutilized. Finally, there's a reason to run Adventures. Now you got to get that Huckleberry catalyst, but
they're dropping weapons for Escalation Protocol level 7 bosses that are specific to that boss.
Yeah,
take that.
That's awesome.
Put it into Lost Sectors. Every single one of those Lost Sector bosses has a specific piece of loot attached to their name for the loot pool.
That would be pretty
cool. It has there's RNG drop on it, and then people grind those.
Yes. Sorry, I lost my spot on the document. Todd Swoop says, scale of 1 to 10, how bad do you want Hawkmoon back? Let loose thy talons.
Only if it's a PlayStation exclusive again.
Go and fuck yourself.
I can care less about Hawkmoon. I want Last Word. Last Word was my baby. I loved it.
Man.
Last Word is a cool weapon.
Last Word with mouse and keyboard.
Good
God.
I don't want that inaccurate Hawkmoon back that we had at the end of D1.
I want the year one.
I want the crispy. Yeah.
I want the one that Xbox never got.
Yeah.
I'm fine with the one that Xbox did get right out of the gate because that was the one that I fell in love with. So, Dude, I was one of the few people that was using it at the time and just destroying people with it. It was so much fun. Yeah, it had the chance. PlayStation saw when it had the chance to just one shot somebody, which was nuts.
That was like 1 out of like a 10,000.
But when it happened, though, it was sick. You were like, boom, get out of my fucking face. And just keep on rolling. But it was, I mean, that kind of, I'd like to see that come back, dude. I do miss Hawkmoon.
I think in like the current meta with the Graviton Lance and the Vigiwing, I feel like it fits well in that meta.
Yeah.
So does the Last Word.
Yeah, because you can just run up in their face and just
the sound of Hawkmoon was a beautiful sound.
It was a beautiful sound.
I mean, it was one of the only guns that when I used it felt like it. You know how it's some games you can just whip around all over the place and the guns don't feel like they have meat to them.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkmoon, when you shot it in D1, felt like there was mass.
Yep.
It was good. It was really good.
It was an actual cannon.
A freaking hand cannon.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is another testament to Bungie's game design. Like you said, Lupo, there is no other FPS that feels like Destiny, and that's why we feel this way about Destiny.
Yep.
The man of Way 87. Can we address the stacked teams running Arc Striders and the Husk Helm in competitive? Yes, we'll address it. It's amazing. You should try it. It's so much fun.
Can't beat them. Join them.
Fuck it, man. It's awesome.
Put on Risk Runner. Get fired up. You will melt everything.
Fired up.
It's scary when you're fired up with the Risk Runner. You do so much damage.
Going into competitive with a Warlock running the Rift that has the chest piece that allows you to see through walls is so much fun.
I haven't got that yet.
And I forgot about that.
Oh my God. You guys.
What's the name of that?
No.
Don't talk about it.
Okay, so we're going to talk about it because it's the one thing that I love to just smack the crap out of hunters with.
It's an
What's the
exotic
name of the chess
warlock.
piece?
It's an exotic. Guess who sold it?
Xur.
Yes.
No way.
Can you find
Xur selling exotics?
Xur
Get out of here.
Sold an exotic chess piece that is literally the coolest thing, and it's since you don't get a radar in a competitive, it does like the hunted thing, like the hunters have the hunted X, on your heads up display, with everybody within 30 meters of you.
30 meters.
And here's the best part of it: any of your teammates who get into the rift can also see it.
So it only works while you're in the rift?
Yeah, you stand in the rift and you see everybody and their location.
You can be like, this guy's flanking.
God,
this guy's staying together.
It's great.
You guys remember?
I've got to get this thing.
You guys remember Promethean Vision in Halo 4?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not outlines of people, but it's
little dots.
Really like the concept.
It's like those red crosses.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You can have one guy running it in a competitive playlist. He throws it down because you can spec your warlock to have it every 30 seconds or so. You can get your warlock to have the rift all the time. And so you can just sit there and be calling out for your teammates and competitive.
Left, right, left.
They're all
going straight.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm choosing not to buy anything from Xur. I want to get awarded it via RNG.
Apparently Xur didn't sell it.
What? He didn't sell it? No, that's bullshit.
You must have got it from a Faded Engram.
Faded Engram.
Oh.
No, I bought it.
Yeah, from the Faded Engram.
Yeah.
But was it from the Faded Engram?
Probably.
Because I went to Xur and I was like, damn it, why is he selling Suros? And then I hit the Faded. Okay, so it wasn't Xur didn't sell it. I apologize to Xur. I formally apologize. You squid face piece of.
Hey! Don't they sing?
Xur.
No, his will is not even his own. Have
Yeah,
right.
respect,
Yeah,
man.
Jesus.
You know what?
Oh.
So
You
dumb.
have
You're
a
gonna
gag
get
ball in his
faded
mouth?
off his engram and then call him that on his own supply.
All I'm saying is that, homie,
Wow.
I would have wanted to chase those two items, the Suros and the chess piece, and I got them both from him. And
Just
I
don't
left
buy
there
anything
going,
from him.
"Wow, that's
Yeah,
cool."
just don't go there. If you're so upset about it, don't go.
I can't. It's right there, man.
It's so available.
He's right there.
Shaquille Everett says, do you think weapon randomization will have something to do with the mod system? I hope so, Shaquille. I hope so.
I hope that there's just a really awesome advanced mod system coming that makes
I hope they do away
every
with
weapon
mods.
interesting in the game. Some are going to be standouts. Some are going to be crap, but there's going to be videos about take this garbage weapon and make something really cool out of it because of the mod system. I would love that.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Why can't we have both? Mods is a
Why not
truly
both?
random weapon roll
can
system.
definitely have
I mean,
both.
just
Like, what if a weapon, any weapon you get, has a chance to roll with like just completely random mods, but then you could replace all of the mods on any weapon?
I hope they do away with mods altogether and give us random rolls and say, "Fuck it, we screwed up."
They just look at the paperwork.
I think they have something with mods though. If they go deep
all I'm saying
into
that
mods,
they may,
I
they
think
may,
they could
but
make
I'm-
it amazing.
I do too.
I think they could. It's just, are they, here's the problem with Destiny is that a lot of the times they feel scared to make a complex system. We want complex systems in the game.
Yeah.
We just do.
yeah. I mean, people backlashed on static rolls super hard. People freaking out. Like I said before, you get your first Better Devils, and you never want a Better Devils again because it's still Better Devils. So
It's boring after the second, third,
it's
infinite.
boring.
Yeah.
Third, yeah.
I mean, people in the chat are like, "It says it on the roadmap, Pope." No shit, it says it on the roadmap. I'm talking about like a reimagining of the way that the system works, right? So if they do away with mods, how does that look? And what I'm talking about is more options within the weapons to have more variety of nodes and bring back the true randomness of the guns, so that a lot of the guns right now in D2 have one node per, the tree branches out and there's not a lot of options within it.
There's not. Yeah.
In D1, we used to have more guns with more option nodes.
Yes.
And that's the variation that we wanted.
There was more option nodes, and there was the randomness to which nodes you were going to get rolled on it.
Yeah.
So it's like there's just much more.
Yeah, random sites, random perks,
Right.
random, like the center was random, remember?
Yeah.
The mini perks, yeah.
Rob says, why does Bungie love pulses so much? First Hawksaw, then Clever Dragon, then Vigiwing. Now it's Vigiwing and Gravlance and Crimson. Keep up the amazing work, DCP. Much love.
It's the one thing they got right.
Yeah. It's just the one.
The community does seem to react well to pulse rifle metas, don't they? Like it seems to be welcomed every time it happens.
Well, I mean, Bungie has a history with pulse rifles, right?
Yep.
Way back, y'all recall way back in the day. Do you remember a little gun called the battle rifle?
Wait, what? What was that? What gun was that?
That's weird.
That's what I think every time somebody says BR.
What was it? 4 to the head?
Right.
4 bursts to the head battle rifle? Oh.
That's weird. That's so weird that's a thing.
Weird.
So it's always been, I mean, it's kind of their cup of tea. Not that they can't do other things correctly. I mean, they had a handgun in Halo 1 that was literally the best weapon in existence.
God cannon.
Sniper, yeah.
The 3-shot,
right? Pulse rifles too, they work because they always have limits to their effectiveness at range, you know? Like, so you always, if you got a pulse rifle as a primary, like it's never going to be awesome, like super close range, and it's never going to be the best at like super far range. It just works like that. Like they just seem to, when we have pulse rifle meta, it's never like you can't get around it. Like if you have a close range weapon, you can always beat a pulse rifle at close range, and if you have a scout rifle, you can always beat them at long range, or a sniper rifle. I don't know. Like I like pulse rifle metas.
I like them too.
Yeah.
There's some good variety there right now.
Yeah, there's some really good ones. Yeah, for sure. Obviously.
Yeah.
Vigilance Wing, of course, is the biggest dog in the room there.
I don't know, man. I prefer the Lance. Like the range combined with like just the precision of it, and then the fact that if people are grouped up, you kill like all 4 of them.
Lance feels like a scout.
Pretty dirty.
It feels like a scout to me. It doesn't.
It does feel like
almost sounds like a scout when you shoot it too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the 2 bursts.
I love that like cooldown noise though after you shoot it.
Yeah, like that. That's very cool.
That is neat.
We already talked about Bannerfall not coming up. Zachary K, in September, do you think all the current weapons will stay lower power level and be obsolete like what happened in the Taken King?
Oh, I hope not.
I hope not too. If they do completely change the way mods work, though, I could see it happening.
Oh, right. Everything's relics.
Man.
If they make some big changes to systems, then
if there's a big system change, it's going to be kind of unavoidable. They're going to have to sunset all the current, like the exotics will carry forward, I would bet, but all the current stuff would just go bye. Which
if they make me lose my fate bringer one more
My
time.
midnight coup.
Dude, I know. There's going to be a lot of people that the pitchforks, dude, and torches will come out, but at the same time, I mean, you gotta understand if they're gonna do like a full reset, a full revamp of the weapon system, some stuff is gonna have to disappear. Yeah. It depends on what scale they truly rework things.
Yeah, it does depend on like
we need to.
It could be that just the new weapons are better because they have more options and like they're just cooler shit that can be done with them, and so the old stuff stays there, but it just doesn't have those options. So your Midnight Coup could still be current power level, but you know, it doesn't have the randomness that the new weapons have.
From chat, I saw a rip the tower again. All I could think is like, okay, guys, listen. There was some flooding and all your gear got destroyed. We're really sorry. We're trying to drive. We put them in bags of rice. It's not working though. In the meantime,
we think it's the traveler.
Here's all this other stuff.
Oh, that's funny. Personally, if we get some really, really interesting weapon systems that come from it, then I'm willing to sacrifice my Midnight Coup for the betterment of the weapon system. But if they could do it to where all our stuff moves forward and it's actually interesting to have all these vanilla D2 weapons move forward with it and have these options with mods, then I think that's a good solution. But if they have to scrap it in order to make a better system, then I think that's better for the future of the game.
Yeah.
Holland Love says Saladin always seems paranoid about everything, almost to a conspiracy theorist level. When's the last time you think he got laid?
Oh.
It's been years. I'm sorry, man. It's been years.
You don't think him and Ikora have a thing? I kind of.
I don't know if he's ever had a thing, Saladin.
No, he's never had a thing.
To the Iron Lords.
I don't know. He seems like he'd be a delicate lover. Like I think I'd hit it.
Delicate lover.
What?
He's like, he's a warm and providing soul. I think
feel
he'd
like
make a very.
he's still mourning over the loss of
Yeah.
why can't I
He's
think
not
of her
ready to
name?
move on.
What's her name?
Briar,
Yolder?
Be honest with me, Briar.
Yolder.
Do you write romantic Destiny 2 fanfics
Is there
in your off time?
Is that a thing? Because yes, I will.
Starting
I wouldn't necessarily call it romantic. I would probably call more of like, some soft porn. Like,
yeah,
let's just take the soft right out of that sentence.
Telling me Saladin embraced the Praxic fire.
Oh yeah, embrace the Praxic fire. Oh man.
Yeah, I think he's still mourning over Yolder since the Rise of Iron and all that.
I don't think I could get over that. That was
What was that female? The Iron Banner help that he had in
Aphrodite?
Aphrodite.
Valley
Girl.
Yes.
I think Aphrodite's his side piece.
You say what? Aphrodite what?
I think Aphrodite's his side piece.
I don't think he has a side piece.
I don't.
Yeah,
no,
she went away. That's why he was so excited that she came back.
Yeah.
Like it's his ex-girlfriend.
No,
Like,
no.
I don't see that couple.
No.
I don't
You
see it.
Nope.
No.
Nah.
See, that's the thing that you gotta think. You gotta think like that. The odd couple that they're just crazy in bed together. I mean, come on.
God.
Yeah, I'm not buying
Zachary Shimanek says, I know everything is going to be Destiny and Fortnite related, but what I really want to know is who's going to see Solo.
Oh yeah,
dude, I'm so excited.
I'm so scared about that movie. Like, I
Why?
don't know, how do you do Han Solo without Harrison Ford? Harrison Ford was Han Solo.
Well,
I just don't know how that works.
Brian, let me tell you about prequels. All right, they're earlier in time.
No, I understand the theory that you want a different actor who's not 80 years old to play an 18-year-old, but Harrison Ford it's like getting somebody to recast. They did Indiana Jones, right? They did young Indiana Jones, and it sucks because Harrison Ford was Indiana Jones. There's no other actor that can do Harrison Ford.
Yeah, but
I think I don't want to rain on people's parade, but
Donald Glover's in it, so it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited to see
Donald Glover does kind of have me sold on him playing Lando Calrissian.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Who was the guy who played him in the old movie? The guy who did the Colt 45 commercials?
It's memes always tells me. Billy D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams. Yeah.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, I can't wait. That part of it, I'm really looking forward to. But I'm definitely going to see it.
This is the type of movie where I'm not going to be surprised if everybody's like, "Wow, what a train wreck," and I won't be surprised either if they're like, "You got to see this movie." I'll be like, "Great."
Yeah.
I think it's going to be entertaining, but not. I mean,
groundbreaking, not history making.
I don't know. I'm with Briar on this. Harrison Ford was and is that character for me.
Is he still the highest, like, all-time moneymaker in Hollywood?
Harrison Ford?
Harrison Ford?
Yeah.
I didn't know he was.
I feel like that changes every year.
He was at one point. No, it was like all-time because he had been in, like, so many, like, gigantic movies. The Star Wars movies.
Oh, Indiana Jones
movies, and plenty of others. Just huge movies. So, like, he was the actor that was, like, in the movies that made the most money of all time.
Yeah,
like
I heard that the actor that did the voice acting for Jar Jar Binks was actually number 2.
You're dead to me. Zachary Shimanek said, no, that's already on Krasmatic said, if you could do a crossover between Destiny and any other franchise, movie, game, comic, doesn't matter, who would you choose and why? Answer carefully. You'll be graded here.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to go with My Little Pony and Destiny.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I was going to say the Smurfs.
The Smurfs.
The Care Bear. I would like to see the Care Bear share.
Would be amazing. I want to see that super.
That would be a great super.
Can we bring Transformers into this then too? I mean, Bungie execs were posting Transformers gifs when Prometheus Lens was crazy. That was hilarious to me, by the way. All the gifts that all over Twitter and stuff. Luke Smith posted one of the laser beams going crazy.
Yeah,
bring Transformers in. Sign me
That
up.
would be fun. That would be super fun. Halo, Master Chief.
A crossover there? That's a stretch.
Yeah, right.
I'm
Still
gonna
want the Care Bear show,
go.
though.
I'm gonna go with Full Metal Alchemist because not only is it an amazing anime, but also all of the different characters have different powers, like envy and gluttony and all that stuff. So if you could have those be supers,
that'd be pretty sick.
Are you going from the original or from Brotherhood?
Brotherhood.
Okay.
Good brother.
Which I agree with you, Watts. Thank you very much for
Yes, I know you do.
about that. I watched the series and it was really good. I might watch other anime because of you.
Yay. We did
Rico
it.
the Dingo says, now that we've got private matches in Destiny 2, who would win a Rumble match against Mrs. Dr. Lippo, Mrs. Briar Rabbit, Meme Starlight, Mrs. Pope?
Oh.
Definitely not my wife.
I think Memes.
Pope.
I don't know, Dr.
Wow.
Lippo, does your wife play Destiny? Because I think Memes might be the only one who plays Destiny.
So Mrs. Dr. Lippo has a history of CS:GO or CS 1.6 and CS Source in her past in college. So if it's on PC, I think she stands a chance.
Interesting. Yeah, Memes plays like every day.
Yeah.
All right, she would probably win then. Sorry.
Yeah, I think that's Mrs. Briar Rabbit. I mean, there's no amount of cheating in the world that could help her. Not that she wouldn't attempt to cheat, she would.
Well,
but I just don't think it gets
Mr.
done.
Watts is also part of this, right?
Oh, Tomo?
Mm-hmm.
I think Memes might take it.
Memes was bragging to me the other day about getting like 30 kills in free play. I was like, you know what?
That's pretty good.
That's good,
That's
babe.
pretty good.
Wow.
My mom boasts to me about getting like 25.
That's not bad either.
That's good.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it sounds like we have a 1v1 situation here.
Mom versus Memes. I love it.
Blandy McBlanderson says, if you're eating strawberries and you discover that one of them has fuzzy mold growing on it, do you A, eat it because that mold is just extra nutrients, B, cut the moldy part off and eat the rest, or C, throw the berry away and pick another, or D, throw out the whole container?
I'm somewhere between B and C.
I'm a firm D, man.
Really?
All the strawberries there are forever unclean.
But what
They
if you
must
look
go.
at them and the others look totally fine? There was one that was just a little
It's
bit
just
more of a
hiding.
senior.
It's
No,
just
no, no,
hiding.
no.
Yeah,
It's just waiting.
it depends on how much mold. Like if you see two of them heavily molded, the package is getting tossed. If you see one berry beginning the journey of getting molded, that berry gets tossed. I look at the other ones, give them a wash, and then you're good.
Can we phone a friend? Can we call Sherry's Berries and ask for advice?
I'm going to pull a Patrick, and I'm going to be right back. Hold on one second. I'm going to show you what happens when you don't throw away moldy things.
All right. While you're gone, we're going to move on and talk about something else. So it'll be completely awkward when you come back.
Why is Pope going to get moldy things?
I'm not sure.
Why does he
I'm
just
scared.
keep moldy things around?
I'm scared.
Yeah, why didn't he throw it out? He's got like moldy yogurt.
What the fuck? What
Is that
So,
weed?
is that growing in your fridge?
How do you refrigerate that?
This was moldy when I got it. When it started to mold, it was a sweet potato, and it started to mold. So I put it
molding.
in. Yeah, it started to mold.
That's sprouting.
And I put it inside. It started to mold. There was a part that was sprouting. It was getting old, right? And I put it in water. And these are the roots of the sweet potato. You can
It
see
looks beautiful.
from here, and you can see the sweet potato there, and it just started to grow, and it created this cool thing.
Pope, is that weed?
Yeah, is that a pot plant?
Pope, is this your way of covering up
Did
that
you
you're
plant
good?
pot in a potato?
Potato was
Also, I'm concerned whether or not Pope knows the difference of something going moldy or sprouting.
no, it was going moldy, and then when it started to grow, it grew out.
Next time you get a food that starts to mold, I want you to plant it as well, and I want it to be like an Oreo or something, and I want to get an Oreo plant out of that. Okay.
I want to know
Whatever,
who's
guys.
thinking weed seeds in Pope's potatoes.
I'm really excited about my potato.
That legitimately is.
If my potatoes were made out of weed, I'd be pretty excited. Big Us Mike says, love the show, long-time listener. Let me ask everyone a question except for Pope Bear. In the Crucible, when it comes down to choosing between using what you want versus using what works best, why do people put mayo on a hamburger? Love you, Pope Bear. Yo, I put mayo on a hamburger.
I
love
put mayo on
mayonnaise hamburger with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise. I prefer it over like a ketchup and mustard mayonnaise or ketchup and mustard.
You tell me to put mayo on a hamburger, I will spike a jar of mayo. I'm sorry. Get out of my face. No, thank you.
Mayo for me is very specific. If it's got to be doctored up with all kinds of flavors. Like it's got to be a chipotle mayo, garlic mayo. It's got to be one of those. If it's just straight up basic mayo, I'm like hard pass.
Tiff, how much to eat a big spoonful of mayo right now?
None. No money.
There's no amount of money in the world. Just straight up big.
That's gonna make me gag for the rest of my life. I'd rather not have that image in my brain for the rest of my life.
Now, does that go for Cool Whip too, or not Cool Whip? But what's the other one? There's
the Miracle Whip. No, thanks.
Is it Cool Whip on a burger? Now that's a Cool Whip on a burger.
Now I'm getting creative.
I'm going to tell you that I honestly eat mayonnaise with my fries every time. I love it.
How do you take
mayo? I'll put on a burger.
How do you take your steak, Pope?
Wars have been started about less.
Medium rare.
Okay, good. Good.
No, but I lived in Europe for.
Do you?
I lived in Germany for a year, and they.
Yeah.
That's the question.
I want to know what else you picked up in Germany because it sounds like you were hanging out with a pretty bad crowd.
Oh my gosh.
Mr. Bacalito says, Dr. Lupo, if you could eat nothing but one kind of cookie for a whole year and nothing but said cookie, what kind of cookie would you choose and why? I know I asked this to DCP earlier, but I really want to know Dr. Lupo's cookie reasoning.
M&M cookies. Just like, it's like a chocolate chip cookie, but instead of chocolate chips, it's M&Ms in it. Because
those are delicious.
Oh my God. So recently, my wife and I came into a large supply of boxes of those. And it was, the ones that you rip off the top and you can like reseal them, but everybody looks at it.
Would they fall off a truck? What the fuck?
Screw that. I'm not going to reseal this. And you just start eating them and you just can't. They're like drugs, dude. I could eat an entire box of those in one sitting, and I have no idea how I'm not fat. Just saying.
Colby Roy says, how many times has Briar Rabbit mentioned coffee beer tonight, and why is everyone not drinking it right now? Do you guys know about coffee beer?
No.
It's coffee and beer. It's coffee.
Your raid told me about coffee beer when you raided me.
Amazing. I was very drunk yesterday.
Off of coffee beer.
But I was also very wide awake.
Enlightened drunk. Woke drunk.
The drug addicts call that a speedball.
I'm going to tell you. True. I'm going to tell you, this is an amazing thing. And it's the only way that I've ever heard to improve upon the shower beer.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
It's hard to improve on a shower beer, I'm telling you.
I know, but you put coffee in that beer and you've got something. You've got something special.
Whoa. Hold up. You're actually just taking a beer and a cup of coffee and you put them together?
No. It's well brewed together.
Okay, I was about to say.
Yeah, we're not half-assing this out here.
I was about to get extremely judgmental. Now I'm back on track.
No.
Can you have a coffee beer in your morning shower?
I think if it's a Saturday and you don't have to use any yard equipment, fuck it.
If you ain't riding the tractor, get on board.
If you're a streamer. AJ Allwood says, when you put on pants, do you button first and then zip, or do you zip first and then button? Asking for a friend.
Zip then button.
Zip then button? I button first then zip.
I button zip.
I feel like it depends on the jeans or the pants. Some pants are kind of an awkward zip because of the fabric. Other pants are an easy zip, Depends on the pants.
Pope seems fancy enough that he has to tie his up in the front, and that's it. It's the only way.
Pope only wears button fly.
I don't.
Yep, I told you, dude. I told you.
I don't use none of those buttons and zippers.
The Mohegan 9 says, if someone gave you a book that had everything bad people had said about you, would you read it, or would it just be like reading your YouTube comments, meaning you don't read it?
I was literally about to say, I already read my Twitch chat. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want that kind of abuse in my life. It's like, why would you do that?
If it's a book that is giving you like all the bad things that people say about you, like we see stuff on YouTube and Twitch and Twitter or whatever, but what if this is like coworkers that you've had or family members or friends? Like that's when it gets juicy, when you get to see what your close people that you actually know have said about you.
So, I feel like that would be much more hurtful than
I mean, of course,
neckbeard who lives in mom's basement says about me. You know, like, I really don't give a shit what my YouTube comments say.
Would you want to know what people have said behind your back?
But if my mother's saying I'm a douchebag, that would hurt.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that you don't walk away from.
No,
that could be life changing.
Would you peek? Would you peek into that book, or would you just
also? Do I accept the fact that I'm a douchebag, or do I just keep on living?
I'd say
I'm thinking you don't give a shit about that. You just keep on living.
You know, like a curated amount of criticism is always good, obviously. But if you're always reading about what people are saying that's about you, negative or even good, you're living in the past. So, in my opinion, like I think, yeah, I would skip it. I would skip it. I would be forward thinking for the future.
I don't think it'd be a good idea to read that book.
There's so many random assholes in the world that I have zero interest in hearing what they have to say. There's not a whole lot of people that I have. I mean, there's a handful of people in my life, and this might insult people in chat. So remember, Pope Bear, POPEBEAR is a, and then insert. There's not a whole lot of people I really care about. There's a handful of people in my life that I care about that are close, and those people, their opinions matter. And then it just goes from there on this outer ring like onions. So when people get to the outer rings, the farther you are from the center core of who I am, the less your opinion means something to me, right? So it's not. I don't want to read what. It's very interesting to think of what like someone close to you thinks of you behind closed doors.
Yeah.
But the concept of having random people being able to have an opening into my mind, you know,
they have no context, right? It's like they don't understand like the thought that went into a decision. They don't understand like, you know, your life leading up to the point of that decision. They don't know so much, and to come in and judge a decision based off of a 5-minute video is just like, I mean, this is meaningless. Like,
well, you know, there's a lot of new people watching this this podcast tonight that don't know that, like, for example, that we, for the purposes of making interesting conversation, we each take the role, more often me than anybody else, but of playing the devil's advocate, so we can get all the points out there. But it still doesn't matter, right? It still will be their judgment. And you guys told me a long time ago not to read the YouTube comments, and I don't. And my life is better because of it.
There you go.
Yep.
Your enjoyment of doing the show is better, and the shows are better because of that.
You.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan is Alive says, this one's really aimed at Dr. Lupo, but I think everybody should answer it because it's a really important question. Dan is Alive says, if you're a doctor, is it normal for one of my testicles to hang below the other two? Asking for a friend. This man has a set of tristicles, it sounds like, and one of them is hanging very low.
I might be done with the internet for tonight.
Okay.
I would say go see a doctor about your tristicles. A real doctor, a medical doctor.
Not me.
Maybe they need special care.
WebMD.
Yeah.
Please or Google that.
But definitely send a pic to Dr. Lupo. At least give him get a second opinion. Dr. Lupo.
Second opinion for Lupo.
Anything you send to me, I post on Twitter. Know that.
Yo.
Oh, that sounds like
I feel like a picture of tricycles would go a long way on Twitter.
Yeah, it'd be big for my target audience there, Brian. Sure.
Yeah.
You and me have different target audiences, I guess.
So you have to,
well, if you're trying to grow that Destiny fanfic, romance fanfic, dude, you ride. I know your target audience.
That's
Don't worry.
This man has a personal sponsor of Bag of Dicks Company. So just
That's true. I did literally have Bag of Dicks as a sponsor.
Jeez, dude.
Actually,
You got one right there?
Oh, he's got dicks.
It's a bag of dicks. Delicious.
Can you eat one for us, Brian?
No, they're still sealed. I don't want to break the wrapper.
Is that against terms of service?
Yeah, break a bag of dicks.
Eat something phallic? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Oh, if it is, I'm in trouble.
If this channel disappears in the next 2 days, we apologize.
Most interesting Korean says, this one's for Briar Rabbit and Teft. Now that y'all are back on PC, imagine this. You can continue playing on PC, but you have to forfeit any modern form of tissue. Would you consider going back to console with normal tissue, or would you just wipe with banana leaves?
I would adopt a cloth situation. I would have to wash cloths a lot more often. Yeah, but hey, people
You would have to get a bidet.
Yeah, bidet. Yeah. I'd bidet up. There we go.
I think I would just start shitting outdoors more. Have you ever seen a dog kind of wipe its ass along a carpet?
No.
I feel like that could be an effective strategy.
Usually they're kicked across the room, so.
Just use the 3 shells, guys. Come on.
3 shells.
You guys don't know how to use the 3 shells? Are you serious?
How to use the 3 shells.
He doesn't know how to use the 3 shells.
Oh, that's
great. Yeah, bidet is a great shortcut. There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the Twitter
you got them everywhere. Great.
Yeah. And now that if you have small children, every man out there that has had a baby in the house and has had a reason to buy baby wipes, oh man, they're good.
Baby wipes
they're life changing, dude. Oh, okay. If you want real talk for just a second this, real talk.
All right.
Look, you can't look me in the eye and say, "Oh, I have shit on my hand. Let me just wipe it off with some toilet paper and it's good to go." No one does that, right? You're like, oh my god, get us fucking scrub it off. There's not enough soap and hot water in the world to get the shit out, off my hand. So why are you using just toilet paper on your butt? Yeah, people, come on.
Yeah, real talk.
Real talk from a doctor, from a medical professional.
Yeah.
Which, all I'm saying is, after every time you use the bathroom, you need to be taking a full start to finish shower, okay, to make sure that you're 100% clean. Just reset for the whole day, and then you're good to go.
Why aren't we implementing an even more in-depth, decision here? Why aren't we building showers with toilet in them?
Coffee enema?
Oh. I mean, why can't you take
coffee beer enema
in the shower while you're drinking a coffee beer?
This just got interesting.
Focus lives, brother.
I'm thinking outside the box here, guys. This is going to be great.
Why isn't there not a fridge in the shower?
Oh,
yeah, a mini fridge
with the TV that's showing Twitch. So I could be sitting there watching Dr. Lupo, drinking a shower coffee beer while taking a dump, winning.
That's.
What's it like to have completed life, Bob? Does it feel good?
That's it, right?
Feel good.
Feels
I can't wait to tell my wife that I'm remodeling the bathroom.
Oh man,
she'll be so thrilled until I'm finished. All right, that's it for Twitter questions. Thanks
Did we have one in Skype prior?
Yeah.
I don't know. I do not have Skype chat open.
Uh-oh.
We do have one in Skype. You should check it.
Yeah, you need to read this question.
Looks like you need to read the question, Briar.
But there's no question below it. Is it above? Oh, okay. Adam Kamiri says, if you could bring an enemy alien race from another video game into Destiny, not Halo, that's too easy, what would you pick? For example, the enemies in Doom featuring a cyber demon raid lair boss.
Metroids.
Ooh.
Metroids, please.
Metroids would be cool.
Because then you have the opportunity for like a freeze ray. This might already be in the game, and you could just you get it would bring that back. Cold Heart would have another purpose.
You could make jumping puzzles out of it too.
Be pretty sick. Give me Metroids or give me death.
It's pretty good.
Or a Pokemon, and I would like to catch them all.
But
a raid where we just go around catching Pokemon.
I would stomp them out. I would punt them off of the planet.
Interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Like space magic.
I'm gonna say we gotta go one of the Dark Souls.
Ooh.
Oh, Dark Souls bosses in Destiny?
Yes. Bringing them into Destiny would be...
That'd be pretty cool.
Woo.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Honestly, the xenomorphs would be pretty great because they're terrifying. The AI is usually really strong, so the AI would have to get a bump in next level, sneak around, sneak up on you and kill you type of stuff. And you could have a various variety of xenomorphs.
I really like the boss fights in Borderlands. It'd be dope to have some of the Borderlands bosses to fight in Destiny.
Yeah.
Was this specifically bosses?
Yeah. Well, not specifically.
It's aliens.
I guess like aliens. But to
me,
this
one's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah.
They did make a video game out of the Thing. What if you had the Thing, like, enemy that could take over a Guardian in your fire team, but you never knew which Guardian?
That would be amazing.
Wow.
It's like
Terrorist. You have to fight a Guardian? Oof.
I always wanted to fight a Guardian, like a PvE Guardian. I think that'd be kind of amazing.
Yep.
As you load into a patrol space, one person can kill the other people.
You'd have to give them a reason to do it. I mean, along that note, I've always wanted a...
I don't need a reason to teabag. Why don't I just like to do it.
That's true. Explain. You just learn the entirety of who Bri Rabbit is in one sentence.
Yes, it's not that hard. He's
I
not.
just want to
very
teabag.
shallow.
All right, I don't need a reason. Okay, I just want to do it.
It's just fun.
Like a PvP VE kind of fight. Like it's like a raid boss fight, and in the middle of the fight, you have to fight another team of Guardians.
Yes.
Imagine if there's like two instances, like. You guys, DCP queues up to do the raid, or a new raid layer, and another team, like Tier 1, queues up to do the raid layer. And as you if you're at the last boss fight at the same time, and you happen to be at the same phase where you fight another team, it matches you against each other, and you phase into each other's instances and fight each other. And whoever wins gets to go on to the next phase of the fight, and then the other team has to quote unquote re-queue for that portion of the fight.
This works especially well if you're fighting like a Taken style raid, because it could be Taken Guardians.
Yeah,
and you see all the enemy Guardians, except they're just like Takenified with all the
that'd be sick.
That's cool.
That'd
be
dope.
That'd be cool though.
That's awesome.
If it took it even another step where it was actually you that you're fighting, dark version of you. So you look over and the
like
names.
Dark Link.
Oh, I would hate that so much.
The names they're using your loadout. Shooting you with your stuff.
Have you ever done that in Call of Duty when you can play against bots? And the names of the bots are off of your friends list?
Your friends list?
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
I love games that let you name like your characters after your friends, like like a group game, like XCOM, something like that, where you actually name your recruits like your friends, so that when one of them dies, you're like, no, Miss 5,000 Watts died.
You get a reason to protect them.
Yeah, you get like attached to them.
It's very OG Oregon Trail. I feel like if we were fording the river, Pope would die. I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
Dysentery,
totally dysentery.
The only reason why I would go die is probably because I was, dipping my one
third
extra
testicle.
long testicle into the water to wash off, and I accidentally fell off.
One extra long testicle.
Got caught on a rock below.
A
fish came up and grabbed it.
Alien-like testicle. It's just submerged underwater. Caught some undertow and pulled you in.
Right. That's the reason why I died. I think you're right.
Interestingly, to wrap it back around, he calls his third testicle Billy D. Williams.
I gotta wash off Billy D. Williams real quick.
I just put Billy in the water for a minute. Oh man, that's great. Well, this has been a great show, guys.
Yeah, this was fun.
Yeah.
Dr. Lupo, having you come on, it's like it's good to have that loop around. To have you back here and talking about Destiny again. Does it feel weird to talk about Destiny?
No, I spent almost 2 years streaming it exclusively. A lot of people that know me now don't realize that. A lot of people will say that, and I mean, even in chat tonight, which is giving me just a big smile on my face, are like, I think at one point I was called a Fortnite sellout, which is hilarious to me.
You're always going to be a sellout to somebody.
Because they're not paying me to play the game, but just play it for fun. And that's why even tonight I was playing Destiny, and Sunday I was playing Destiny. And the game has always had has always had, will always have a special place in my heart, because if it weren't for Destiny 1, I wouldn't even be streaming. It's as simple as that. I would not exist on Twitch if it were not for that game. I wouldn't have had like a drive to stream at all. So it doesn't feel weird. I do miss it. But I think it depends on the future, and if I ever get bored with Fortnite, you know what I mean? Like Fortnite, at this point, I'm not playing it for any reason other than I think it's fun, because I do think the game is fun. I mean, that's why I play it.
It's going to be fun to see us at Guardian Con. It's going to be fun to see you guys and to see all of us back together again. I mean, you're going to be there. There's a lot of us that are going to be there again. It's always fun to be back together and see and hang out, have some beers.
Should be a good time.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Absolutely. Is that it? This is it, right?
Yeah.
That's right. It goes back to me. I'm still getting used to the fact that Holtz is gone. Usually Holtz would tie it up right here.
I've been trying to keep the
I know, and I wasn't jumping in. I wasn't taking a hit.
All right.
This has been DCP number 86. Fantastic episode. Thanks again, Lupo, for joining us. If you want to talk to me on Twitter, you can catch me at Teft on Twitter. I also stream twitch.tv/TeftyTeft. Usually start in the evening Pacific time around 6 p.m. And I have a YouTube channel that gets some love every now and then. Briar.
I'm Briar Rabbit. You can find me. You can talk to me on Twitch at the Briar Rabbit. You can come hang out in my streams. Just look for Briar Rabbit on Twitch, or the occasional YouTube video, Briar Rabbit on YouTube.
I was hoping we were going to say each other's names and it could remind me of Spire Stars.
All right. Passing the
Dix! Go on, Dix!
Oh, Lord. I am Miss 5000 Watts. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, doing all the video and all the games and all the stuffs. Just search for Miss 5000 Watts.
Lupo, you.
I have no idea who I am. If you watch me on Twitch, it's just Dr. Lupo. If you're on Instagram or Twitter, it's Dr. Lupo on Twitch. And then if you're on YouTube, for some reason, I like to make things difficult, and it's just Dr. Lupo TV, because I couldn't get just Dr. Lupo or Dr. Lupo on Twitch on there. So I have three varieties of branding. Enjoy finding that. So
it's great. And
I would imagine you're popular enough that if you type in Dr. Lupo to any of them, you'll
go to Google, look up Dr. Lupo, you'll find me.
It'll be good. And if you haven't watched any of his stuff, I highly recommend you do. He's a very entertaining streamer. Always have a good time hanging out in his channel. So make sure you check it out if you haven't. And this has been Pope Bear. You can find me on Twitter at Pope Bear. You can make sure to follow our podcast at DCP_live. We've got a lot of great events that are happening and coming up. There's a really fun Ask Me Almost Anything. I had to put the other A in there because apparently people were taking it literally. So it's Ask Me Almost Anything with Tefty Teft coming up soon. It's this Sunday at 1 p.m. If you're listening to this, it's Sunday the 27th.
And no, I do not have a third testicle, so please don't ask about a third testicle or what that name might be for a third testicle.
Oh, do you have names for 1 and 2?
They're private.
Oh boy.
Okay.
That's a yes.
So we're also going to be dropping a really sick montage this week. We're really excited about it. Make sure to follow us and get the drop on that.
Oh,
we're really excited about that.
It's the best thing
next
ever.
week we have Anubis and Farcog on the show. We're going to be talking about with PvP matches. There's going to be some tournaments coming out, and they're going to be talking about the
Tactical.
Tacticals was one of the OG names that people wanted me to say when somebody subbed. Welcome to the sack. The Tacticals. I have definitely. I do not promote that because I can't imagine. I can't imagine a relative coming to my stream has never seen it and being like, "You just said." Thanks for
Was that the Tefticals?
Welcome to the sack. What?
Yeah. Oh
Tomorrow I'm stealing it and I'm using it on my stream.
Man, make sure to follow us. We also do a podcast once or twice a month, we do a off-topic podcast that we call DCP Side Quests, where we talk about anything other than Destiny. We've got a great show for the next month. I'm not going to spoil the guests. It's going to be a fun thing. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, and we'll announce when we are going live. So thanks very much.
Thank you very much, guys. We are going to roll some credits, and then we'll be back to read out some subs. So BRB, thanks for watching. Bye.
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 I've